Hold up. Hold up. I got to fix something here. I'll be right back, everybody. Oh, man, we're live. That's what happens. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude. All right, here we are. We're live. We're live. All right, we're live this time. What's up? Oh, we had 2 viewers and then they disappeared. Oh, darn, I screwed up. You know, it's like if you want Joe Rogan, go watch Joe Rogan. He pays like 20 people to do his podcast with him. So all the technical stuff is figured out and everything works as it's supposed to. And all Joe Rogan has to do is say, hey, you pull that thing up on the screen and put it on the screen where everybody can see it. But in this show, I have to go find the thing and I have to put it on the screen and I have to fix all the glitches and all that. So it's all right. It's all good. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. We are back at you for another live stream. It's Wednesday, February 4th, 6 o'clock in Texas. And yeah, I thought I had all my stuff set up properly, but I got to a certain extent and then I drifted off and started going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Anytime I open up YouTube to look for something or to go do something specific, I get to the homepage and I'm like, oh, I'm going to click on that. Oh, I think I want to see that. And before I know it, I don't even remember why I came to the damn site in the first place. It sucks. That's what they got. That's what they do. It's the psychological game that they play with us. So what is up? Wow, we got 7 people already. That does remind me that, the shadow ban seems to be going away a little bit slowly. Maybe somebody in YouTube at these Creator Connect meetings that, for these elite creators that they put me in. Maybe somebody heard me complain about being shadow banned over and over and over again. Plus, I've got like actual human beings I can talk to. But I have noticed an uptick. Number one, the live streams have had an uptick in impressions, views, and those kinds of things. But the analytics around impressions are what I'm pointing to. Part of it has to do with the thumbnails I've picked for the last several streams. I think they're just resonating better. Titles and thumbnails are more clickbaity, so people are clicking on them more. But they're watching the restreams and they're watching the engagement's pretty good in terms of the amount of time people are spending watching is actually up. It's not like I'm getting a bunch of clicks and then people peace out after 10 seconds. And so I posted that video from the park last week. I wasn't even planning on going to the park. That was totally spur of the moment. And when I was at the park, I had no intention of doing a video. But I saw all these park benches everywhere, and I'm like, kind of reminded me of my, my homeless days back in Jamestown. And I'm like, maybe I'll just sit here with my phone and talk to y'all for a minute. And that thing's closing in on 1,000 views. And I'm like, I don't even know, like, why that one? I don't understand. Like, that one didn't even have a nice thumbnail, just my ugly face. Didn't even shave like today. And that's the one people wanted to see. Whatever, dude. But that one kind of got some traction and the impressions went through the roof on that one. So YouTube may have unlocked something for me, which is cool. So we might get some extra people in the live stream. One thing I noticed right away is we've got brand new trolls that haven't been to the channel before, because I would recognize them if they were the OG regular trolls. I did have to boot one of them because he was being an asshole. And, I at first when I started doing YouTube, I was like, I don't really care about the trolls, but it is my house. So if you're going to come to if I'm having a house party, you're all invited. But if you're going to come be a dick to everybody, at some point, I'm going to be like, you're out. Go on, get out of here. But it takes a minute for me to do that. But that's not really what I'm talking about today. I am going to do another video from the park. I'm planning on it on Friday. My fitness routine has got me, and I'm trying to stick to a more refined schedule because I'm all over the place. I have way too many things going on and I have to try to like seriously buckle down my time. I'm making some changes over the next few weeks that are going to be significant and will open up more time. And I just got to, I've got to juggle. I got to play this stupid game with the federal government and these probation officers and, do what I'm told and, work a certain number of hours and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully, after I got to go meet somebody this week, they gave me a new officer, which is supposed to be good for me because it's supposed to be like they've basically got me on a tier now where I'm going to go meet with them tomorrow and then maybe I'll never hear from them again. Unless I do something stupid. So from tomorrow until the clock runs out, I may not have to ever speak to anybody again. So that's my hope. But tomorrow I got to go to downtown Houston for that. I'm a little irritated about that because it's like it's just going to waste my day. It's like it's going to get in the way of me actually getting things done. It's going to be a whole day of my life just tossed. But I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I'll do what I can before going to the gym because I got to go down to Houston, come back, do whatever I can do in the and then go to the gym. The gym is non-negotiable. We can talk about the gym. It was probably the best decision I've made since I've moved to Houston to join a gym. I'm not even really a gym guy. I don't enjoy going to the gym, to be honest, but I think I found the right balance here, and it's. I got into it. It does kind of remind me of the structure that when I went to Club Fed in Danbury, I put some structure in my life because I was going to be there for 4 months. And I worked out every single day, utilized all of it, spinning classes, played indoor soccer, all the equipment, all the gym equipment, I did everything I could do. I had a personal trainer who I would work with as a group. There was a handful of us that became friends with this guy, and he led us on a personal training journey. I did not go to every single one of his workouts. Sometimes I would just do my own thing, pick and choose what I want to do. But this dude taught me a lot. And he kind of helped me figure out, like, I can lose 40 pounds in 4 months if I put structure around it and follow the plan. And now that, like, I went to the gym I've went to the gym 3 times since I joined, twice last week, once so far this week. And it's good. The main thing is they have classes. They have yoga classes and spinning classes. So I'll do that. They have a pool. I took a dip in the pool yesterday just to see, but I didn't swim. I got out of the hot tub and I took a little stroll through the pool just to see, how deep it was and whatnot. And it's just a lap pool. It's nothing crazy. They have a sauna and a hot tub, and that right there. So when I go to the gym, I'm making it like a spa day. I'm gonna leave the house at 4. I'm gonna go work out until there'll be a spinning class at 5:30 on the days that I go. And on certain one of the 2 days I've picked, there's a yoga class at 7 and I can do both. And before spin class, I'll get on a rowing machine because I can get my cardio up, but I'm not burning out my legs. I'm working on my upper body mostly. And so that'll get my heart rate going, and that actually helps with spinning class to get warmed up before the class. So half hour on the rowing machine, an hour in the spinning class. After spinning class, I'll go lift weights for a little bit, and then I'll cap it right around 7:00. It's hot tub time, baby. It's sauna. I'm going to go sit in the sauna, go sit in the hot tub and just chill. And they got nice showers there, and they have like shampoo, conditioner, all the stuff you need to take a shower. Like, it's a nice club. It's a really nice joint. And so I'm kind of like, I've got my perfect bag packed. I put some time and effort into packing like the perfect loadout so that when I go to the gym, I have every single thing I want and need. Music, my heart rate monitor, all the apps, everything. I can just enjoy my time there, but I'm not in a hurry. If I'm going to the gym, I'm going to leave my house at 4. I'm not going to be home till like 9 o'clock. It's going to be like a 5-hour trip overall. And I'm gonna work out for like 2, 4, 5, 4:35, 36, 30. 2.5 hours of working out. I'm gonna chill for an hour. I'm gonna take a long shower and just I've got all, I'm gonna take all my toilet, I got a special pouch just to put my like, toothbrush and my all my stuff in. So that when I come out of the gym, even though I'm probably gonna go straight home, I'm like good. I'm all like, clean and, brushed my teeth and got, deodorant, all the stuff. I'm just like, I'm going somewhere important, even though I'm probably just going home. But even so, it's just for me to feel good when I leave the place. And so I'm like, I dig everything about this gym except for one thing that I've been to gyms before. I've joined gyms in the past. I've never stayed a member for a long time. Usually it's something I would do in the winter when I was in Pittsburgh and I would work out. I'd find a place where you can go for the winter and not, and then cancel when the warm weather hits. But here it's warm all the time. But the one thing that I found out that I forgot about how much I hate this one aspect of going to the gym. It's yeah, how's the spa? Exactly. I treat it like it's a spa. It's a spa where you go work out, but I'm coming home feeling great. A little bit sore today, but getting to the point, the one thing I can't stand about going to the gym is when you're in the locker room, there's all these dudes walking around with their fucking cocks hanging out. Like you do realize nobody wants to see your fucking swinging dick while we're in the fucking locker room. Like, I got to go back and forth to the locker room maybe 3 times. I got to get there. I got to go put my stuff in a locker, lock it up, go do a workout or, and I got to go back because spin class is coming up. I got to get changed into my cycling shoes, grab my cycling gloves, a couple other little doodads. Oh boy, there's a guy walking around with his dick hanging out. Like, who wants to fucking see this? Like, where do you people come from? Like, I'm not walking around a fucking gym locker room with my dick swinging around. Like, I don't understand how people are even comfortable with that especially this day and age. Like, no, what is in your head that makes you think, oh yeah, nobody's going to mind if I just walk around with my dick swinging around and everybody can see my cock. Like, I don't understand, but every single fucking time I've joined a gym in my life, the gym, there'd be naked. I swear to God, there would be a naked dude in the fucking sauna. I'm like, I swear to God, if I go in the sauna and there's a dude with his dick hanging out and he's not even wrapped up in a towel, I'm gonna be like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, I won't even be able to go sit in the sauna until I'll have to go sit in the hot tub first. You're supposed to do the sauna first. But it's fucked up, man. I don't understand that shit. Here's the thing, there's mirrors everywhere in this gym, and every time I look in the mirror, I see the same thing. I see this fat piece of shit that needs to lose 40 pounds. I don't even take my fucking shirt off to go in the hot tub. And that's totally fine for me. There's people there who look a lot worse than me taking off their shirt in the hot tub. I'm not. I'm courteous to the other people there. I don't even want to look down and see my fucking man boobs and my fucking dad gut hanging out. Like, I don't want to see that shit. Every time I see myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, dude. Oh, you're here for a reason. But here's the thing. The gym has there are plenty of places you can go change your clothes. They have showers. They have nice showers. They have hooks on the outside of the shower. You can hang up all your fucking clothes right there. That's what I do. I walk in the shower, I shut the curtain, then I get undressed and drop all my shit outside, my wet clothes from the hot tub. And I got my dry clothes hanging on a hook right fucking there. I take my shower, get all nice and clean. Then I can reach over, grab my towel, get myself all dry. And then I can lay the towel on the shower floor and I can keep my feet kind of dry. And I can get all my clothes on and then I can open up the curtain and I'm dressed and ready to impress. I'm not walking around with my fucking dick swinging around. There's other places where you can go change your clothes too. You don't have to fucking just walk around with your cock hanging out. They don't even do that shit in prison. In fact, right now it's illegal to walk around with your dick swinging around in prison, in fucking federal prison now. Any prison, any jail in America, you're not even allowed to take a shower where anybody can see you. Like there's shower curtains, and you're not like they passed that law. I mean, I mean, back in the day, it's not like you see in the movies where you just got 50 fucking dudes standing around with their dicks hanging out, taking a shower and don't drop the soap. It's not like that at all. You got privacy when you take a shower there. And they don't want guys walking around with their fucking dicks hanging out and, you know, all the problems that that's going to fucking cause. Like, I don't understand where these people come to the gym and they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to walk around. Look at my cock, man. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Like that. Like, what the fuck, man? And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I am definitely not the only one who feels this way. In fact, this gym, I will say that I've only been there 3 times, so I don't know, but it's been fairly tame compared to some of the other gyms I've been to in the past. And like, I'm telling you, man, these dudes that are walking around with their dicks hanging out, not giving a shit in the world, even the gay guys don't want to see that. Even the gay guys are like, oh, come on, man. Oh, put it away. Put it away. Like, I don't understand. Like, do the girls do that? Do they just walk around with their vaginas hanging out? Hey, what's up, Betty? Not much, Wilma. Hey, look, nice vagina you got there. Hey, thanks. You too. Like, what do the girls do this? I don't understand. Do they just? I don't understand. John S. I will never do that in the gym. I was in my underwear when a female accidentally walked in the men's locker room. We were both shocked. Maybe I should identify as a woman. Like legally, would they have to let me into the women's locker room if I said, hey, I'm a woman now? Could I get a free pass? Go sit in that sauna? Because they do have a separate sauna for the men and the women, and it's integrated into the locker room. So you're not sharing the sauna, but the hot tub's wide open. It's next to the pool. I don't know, man. That's the one thing I don't like about the gym, but that's, I mean, it's a minor complaint, to be honest. I fucking, you know, if I have it, like if I walk in before I've put my bag in a locker and if I see like the type of dudes that are, I'm like, I usually try to pick the aisle with a locker where I don't see any other people, or like I want my personal space. Just leave me the fuck alone. I'm there to work out, not there to see your cock. So it's fucked up. I don't understand why they do that. Like I said, there's plenty of places to privately change your clothes and to get your shit together. You don't just got to be walking around with your penis flapping around. Like it doesn't fucking make any sense. I don't understand it. I guess some people are just fine with it and they don't see anything wrong with that, but there aren't that people don't want to see this shit. I mean, this is a public service announcement. I should probably clip this out and put it in the YouTube shorts. Public service announcement. Nobody wants to see your cock while you're walking around the gym locker room. Nobody. There's nobody in there that's going to say, yeah, I want to see that. So just fuck, man. Read the fucking room. Read the fucking room. Like I said, I won't even I gotta be in some good shape before I'm gonna take my shirt off and be like, okay, I'll take my shirt off and go sit in the hot tub. If I'm gonna go swim, I'll take my shirt off and swim. I mean, I'm not that self-conscious. Like, I know there's people there that look worse than me with their shirt off, but like, I look at my legs and then I look at the middle part of me, and they don't match at all. Like I said, there's like those. Like when we were kids, we had these flip books, right? And they had like 3 sections, a section for the head, a section for the body, and then a section for the legs and the feet. And you could flip the pages independently and kind of like make your own creatures and stuff, right? And so like, you know, I've got the unshaven head, but my head looks pretty normal, but it might not be shaved or whatever. And I've got legs that look like I just got done riding the Tour de France. But then this middle section's just Like, what the? It doesn't belong. It's like somebody took that middle page and found the fattest body for the middle part and said, "Oh, that's the good one." And that's the body I got. So, I don't know. That's why I'm at the gym, because the the bakery, I have no willpower. If I'm working at a bakery twice a week, I'm gonna eat 1,000 calorie brownie. I made a mistake yesterday going to the gym. Took a I was hungry like maybe an hour before I left my house. And I realized, oh, I got this peanut butter chocolate brownie in the fridge that I brought home yesterday. That thing's like 1,200. That thing has to be at least 1,200 calories. I ate that stupid thing. And then an hour later, I go to the gym and I'm on the rowing machine and I'm like, oh my God, what did you do? Like, I felt it. It felt horrible. Normally, I don't really eat much before going to the gym. I kind of fast on those days, or I'll eat something in the morning, but I want to go, especially if I'm going to do yoga class. You do not want to have any, you want to do yoga with an empty stomach. Absolutely. Like, fast before you do yoga. You don't want to go eat at the fucking China buffet and then go to yoga class. That is not gonna work out for you. And, so even, I mean, I can't do that again. I burned that whole damn brownie while I was at the gym yesterday. My apps estimated I burned like 2,000 calories while I was there, because I was working it. And even before I went to the sauna, I was covered in sweat. So I burned some calories, an hour spinning class, half an hour on a rowing machine, weightlifting. Yeah, it went, that brownie disappeared into the ether. So I still came out ahead of the game, but never again. I'm not doing anything like that. Maybe I'll eat some peanuts or some macadamia. I love macadamia nuts, but they cost a fortune. Of course, the best ones are the most expensive, but I don't know. I'll think of something to give me just a little bit of something, like maybe 2 hours before I go, enough time to digest. But once we're in that 2 hour window of going to the gym, no more food. I didn't lose anything. I mean, maybe I did. I don't know. I didn't weigh myself today. I'm not really, I'm like fat right now, and I hate seeing myself on the scale. Like, I'm at the top of my weight limit. Like, I'll hit where I am right about now and I won't really gain. I never get any fatter than I am right now. Like, my body just somehow magically makes it stop. But I don't know. We'll get into that in a bit. I am going to make some changes to my schedule here in the next couple of weeks, that I have the green light to go forward on some freelance jobs that I can put some more hours in. And I may not have to work so hard at the physical labor job. I may be able to go once a week. I don't know. I'm going to see what's up. The next 2 weeks are going to be interesting. The next 2 weeks are going to be more or less status quo, but me trying to claw back at my time and trying to get. I did pretty good today. Today was like my first official day of trying a new system, if you will. I might even get into that a little bit, because there is a main topic for today's show, but for the first half hour, I'm probably just going to chit chat with you guys while, people are coming in the room, and just kind of go whatever direction we go here, before I dig into a topic. And so, I don't even know what I was talking about. The food, the bakery, the time. So what I started doing, I started tracking my time, like, because I want to see where it goes. But like, I found an app that allows me to just kind of track my blocks of time. And it's very easy. It's just date, start, end, boom. It's like 4 taps of the finger. It's not my favorite app, but it does the job. And so for over a month, every single day, including like when I go to bed, when I wake up, how long do I spend screwing around in the morning? When do I actually go to work? What do I work on? Boom, boom, boom. If I take a nap in the middle of the day, I'll mark that, taking a nap. because I'm burned out lately, and I've been every now and then I'll take a nap, and like I go on a hike, go to the gym, all these things. And so then I have this log for over a month now, and this took me some finagling, and this is part of today. It's not really today's topic, but I'm going to talk about this more in a few minutes. But I found a way to take this time log as a CSV file. So it's just it's an Excel spreadsheet of every time entry for a month. And then I found a way to feed my Google Calendar in, copy and paste that as plain text. It took some experimentation to figure out how to do this and make it actually work. But so I can go to an AI bot like Grok, and I can feed it my log of my last month, like here's my time, here's what I actually did, here's my schedule of what I have to do for the next 2 weeks. Here's a list of things I want to do, but I don't feel like I have time. And I'm like, you figure it out for me because I don't fucking know what to do. And so like Grok and I are having this conversation of, here's all the things that I need to do. Here's all the things I want to do. Here are the things that are set in stone on a calendar. Here's my time log of what I actually do. You can compare it. You can see where Grok has already said, you need to get out of that bakery gig. It is killing you. Like for the amount of money that you make versus the time. And it's not just the time that you're there, but if I'm working 2 days a week with a day off in between, it's 4 days out of my week that are lost. My patterns that I've logged over the last month show how worn out I am on Sundays and Tuesdays, that I can't accomplish anything because I'm sleeping too much. I'm recovering energy. I have no energy to do anything, all in exchange for like grocery money. But I'm doing it because, the probation officers are going to be up my ass if I quit. So, and there's other reasons too. There's like maybe 10 different reasons why I won't just yet. Some of it's just fear of the unknown and like wishing I would have more clients and other things. But it's kind of like Grok is like looking at it. He's like, dude, you are shooting yourself in the foot by doing this because you would have at least 2 whole days of productive time to put towards the things that you want and need to do that would pay better in the long term. And I always talk about playing the long game instead of the short game. And right now I'm kind of like in a mix of, there's part of this like feeling like I have to keep playing the short game, but the short game's kicking my ass and it's causing me to lose out on the potential gains of the long game. And but the thing AI does very good, in my opinion, with something like this, is it will just mirror back to me things that I already know, but it also points out different things that I didn't notice. It gives me suggestions. I've already told the bot, I said, look, I'm going to try and block out my Google Calendar with precision over the next few weeks to see just how can I possibly fit all this stuff in. But I'm going to use a different color for the stuff that's not set in stone, because I have never once in my life been able to meticulously block out a calendar and then stick to the plan. So certain things are set in stone. I go do this. I have to do this. I have to do that. Certain things are just, they have to be done at certain times. But otherwise, I fed the blank calendar in. And then Grok gave me a list of like what to prioritize and how many hours to try and find. And so I blocked in a calendar all the way up until the middle of February. And then I fed that back into the AI bot, and it kind of went back and forth, and it said, well, here's some things to consider, this and that and the other thing. And then I kind of locked it down and said, okay, I'm going to try it. And today, the only thing I did today to deviate from the plan that I set so far was take a nap for about an hour and a half. So I lost an hour and a half of something I was supposed to do because it was like 1:00 in the afternoon and my whole body was just shutting down, partly because of the gym, and I'm just not used to it yet. So I did the bakery on Monday. I did the gym yesterday. And I mean, it was a hard workout. I did not mess around last night. And today I woke up feeling great. But by the time 1 o'clock got here, I was flaking out hard. So I'm like, I'm going to go take a little power nap. It was an hour and a half. And then I got out of bed and I got back to it and I jumped on the next thing that I had told myself to do and just figure, well, I have to do that other thing tomorrow. But that's how it's going to go. It's not going to go according to plan precisely. But at least now I have like, okay, I've got this thing on my calendar. I got to figure out where to put it because the thing still needs to be done. And so maybe tomorrow I won't have to be in, like, I'm hoping that I can get back from Houston well before I was expecting to. Like, I'm hoping I can get down there super early, do what I got to do, turn around and come back and be back maybe 3 hours before I'm expecting to. And then I can make up for lost time there. But tomorrow, 4 o'clock, gym. Set, like, that's non-negotiable. I'm going. I'm treating that like it's a job right now. I have to. If I don't, then if I don't treat it like I'm going to a job and it's a commitment that I must do, then I'm just wasting money and I'm just, the whole thing is just going to fall apart. So I have to like force myself to commit to this, and I will get used to it after a while. I mean, I used to play soccer. I've done sports that you need to be seriously conditioned in order to play well. And it just takes time. I'll get used to it. The weather's supposed to be really nice on Saturday and Monday coming up. So I'm going to ride my bike to the bakery. I've already said it. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to go on a nature hike on Friday. I'm going to take a 7-mile hike. I'm going to stop in the park, shoot another one of those videos, see how that does. Maybe videos from the park will be a thing for a while on this channel. And I'm not going to take any notes. I'm just going to take my phone. I am going to take a selfie stick so I can get the upward angle so you're not looking up my nostrils next time and you're not looking at my 3 chins. Like, I'm going to do like what the big girls do on the dating apps. I'm going to hold the camera up in the air so you're looking down at me, because that makes you look better. Handy tip. So I'm going to do that. I will take like I said, I'll probably take a compact selfie stick that I can carry in a pocket. I don't know. I haven't really found the one that I want to take. But I have all kinds of goofy equipment for stuff like that. So I'll find something. I'll figure it out by Friday. And I'm going to go on. I'm going to probably ride. So I'm going to gym tomorrow, 7-mile hike Friday, 50 miles on the bicycle Saturday. Sunday, I'm not putting anything on the calendar except the members only live stream where at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. The members only live stream where Las Vegas rules apply. Whatever happens in the members only live stream stays in the members only live stream. You can say whatever the hell you want. If you thought I didn't have a filter now, sign up and be a channel member. Come to the members only live stream and you ain't seen shit. I'll just tell you that. We have 6 channel members now that hang out. We hang out every Sunday. It's like sitting around the campfire with my homies, just, talk about whatever comes up. I'll come with something to talk about, but people like to steer the conversation in whatever direction we want. And so it's very much, it's more unplanned. Friday, when I do the talk from the park, if the weather's bad, I won't do it. Like I'm going to use the weather as a gauge. But I got to get the sunshine. What the thing on Friday, the 7-mile hike for me is it's winter. I'm not getting enough sunshine and I feel it. And it's kind of like I'm kind of falling into like the seasonal depression. But I live in a place that's warm all winter for the most part. And there's no excuse for it. It's going to be like 80 degrees on Saturday. It's going to be 80 degrees on Monday. Maybe low 40s for my bike ride in on Monday. I don't know. Saturday, I work later, so the temperature should be up over 70, 60 at least. I mean, I'm going to be t-shirt and shorts. I'm going to be able to go on a bike. It's going to be a nice bike ride. Maybe I'll see if I gained anything from going to the gym. Hey, Andrew B996. What's up? Can't stay long. You can watch the replay. It's going to be there. if you do, well, you can't do that on the live videos, but one thing I'll point out is that on the static videos now, there's a hype button. Make sure you hit that thing too when you do the thumbs up and the other stuff. Just leave comments, do what you want to do, but there's a hype button that stays there for the first, I don't even know how long. It's for a brief period. If you start banging on that hype button, it'll increase the number of impressions that the video gets dramatically, and it'll kind of launch that video off, and it'll make the channel grow. And the more people that come to the party, on especially on the live streams, the more fun we'll have. So that's pretty much the chit chat section. I'm done talking about that. Of course, the first thing is Blue Sky in the house yet, because this is her favorite part. I did go and grab today's entry for Jesus Calling. There she is. What's up, Blue Sky? I knew you would be disappointed if I didn't do this today. And I was on the edge because I was busy all day today except for my nap. And so I went and got it and I put it in. So today's entry is, if I do this right, yep. Bring me your weakness and receive my peace. And I felt like, before I even read the whole thing, that, like, as soon as I read that, I was like, that was what I felt like today, because I'm a little bit sore from the gym yesterday. And I'm like, man, that just went right with it. But he says, bring me your weakness and receive my peace. Accept yourself and your circumstances just as they are, remembering that I am sovereign over everything. Do not wear yourself out with analyzing and planning. Didn't I just talk about over-analyzing and planning? This is what I did today and yesterday. Instead, let thankfulness and trust be your guides through the day. They will keep you close to me. As you live in the radiance of my presence, my peace shines upon you. You will cease to notice how weak or strong you feel because you will be focusing on me. The best way to get through this day is step by step with me. Continue this intimate journey, trusting that the path you are following is headed for heaven. And like I said, I mean, these things just line up with my day. With whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm going through, it seems like this book is in perfect alignment with whatever I'm doing. So today, bring me your weakness and receive my peace. I'm bringing my weakness to the gym and to Jesus, and I'm looking, and honestly, yesterday, man, I had a day on Monday. I was angry on Monday about something, and justifiably so. But it didn't leave. And so yesterday it was on, yesterday I had that to deal with, or just that I had some residual. I was kind of mad about something. And then I sat there throughout the day trying to figure out how I was going to wear myself out with analyzing and planning, because I just talked about what I did with Grok, logging my time with an app for over a month. It takes me no time to do. If I don't do it for a whole day, and the next day it'll take me maybe 5 minutes to enter all the time from the day before. And I'm not trying to do it with precision. I'm just trying to get it close enough. I just want to know, how long do you sleep? When do you actually work? How much time do you spend on doing your house chores? All these things. I just want to know how much. I don't want to guess because I feel like this or I feel like that. I want to know. And then the one thing I ran into was a lot of problems trying to figure out how to feed all the stuff into Grok, both the time log and the calendar entries. And I sat there. So yesterday I was supposed to spend half an hour on this, and it ended up being I want to say 4 hours I spent on this stuff yesterday. And I was mad. I'm yelling at the AI bot. I was telling Grok, I'm like, why don't you get the Down syndrome out of yourself and figure out how to do this, you effing retard? And I'm like yelling at a robot. And Grok was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, I'm retarded, but I can't do the way you want me to do. And we're just having like, I mean, these bots are nuts. But anyway, I'm yelling at this robot back and forth. The robot's telling me, try this, try that. I try this, I try that. It doesn't work. But I had the purser. I was in such a bad mood to begin with yesterday, and this was pissing me off even more, that I got determination, and I'm like, I don't even care. I have to figure this out today. And by the time I did figure it out, I figured out a way to get everything to load up into the AI. And so by the time I went and had to get ready to go to the gym, I had it all figured out and it was working properly and we're all good. And so, but when I left yesterday, I was mad. On the way to the gym, I was pissed off. I had this like, Renee says we all have grumpy days where you can't even stand to be around ourselves. That was me yesterday. It was bad. Like every little thing was pissing me off yesterday, which is kind of like I was recovering from the bakery day. Plus, I was, like I said, I'm not even going to talk about that, but I was a little pissed. And I woke up right off the gate. I was not in a good mood. And then I thought, well, I'll just do this whole like calendar planning thing exercise that I wanted to do. See if the bot can help me figure out things. Because I've got this to-do list of like hundreds of things I want to do. And there's no time, there's no way I can do it. So the bot's like, I can help you prioritize it and just kind of help you see what you can't see yourself. And it's a tool. Use it as a tool. And so, but anyway, like I said, I figured out I couldn't do what I wanted to do until today because I spent the whole day yesterday trying to figure out how to do it. And so that pissed me off. But when I went to the gym, do not wear yourself out with analyzing and planning. And, how many times do I tell you guys, it's good to have a plan. In fact, I don't like to not have a plan, but things usually don't go according to plan. But if you have a plan to start with and things don't go according to plan, typically the outcome ends up being better because you had a plan in the first place. So having a plan in the first place makes you better prepared for when things don't go according to plan. That's kind of the way I look at it. Sometimes things go meticulously according to plan. I've had photographs that were planned meticulously down to a 30-second window. I had to be at a certain place at an exact time for the sun to be in exact alignment, et cetera. And it worked out. Sometimes I go shoot a sunset and it's raining and overcast. And so, yeah, there's not going to be a sunset today. You're going to go home or are you going to find something else to do, So I'm not going to go home with empty-handed. I'm just going to work with what nature gave me in that sense. But I'll at least be prepared for it because I came correct with my camera gear and I came ready to shoot. So instead, let thankfulness and trust be your guides through this day. They will keep you close to me. And you will cease to notice how weak or strong you feel because you will be focusing on me. Bring me your weakness and receive my peace. I went to the gym and just banged that shit out. I'm telling you, when I left the gym yesterday, I was a whole new person. I wasn't angry about anything. I was at total peace with everything. And it was different. Like sometimes the bicycle rides to and from that bakery, I do notice that it's now that I can drive to and from there, a lot of times I feel better when I come home after riding my bike the 50 miles than driving there and back for a multitude of reasons. But for me, exercise is like the number one stress reliever. Well, I guess number two stress reliever, if we're going to get technical about it, but it's the second best thing you can do to get rid of your stress. And I would say third place is, well, I can't do the third place thing until I'm off probation. So we're just going to leave it at that for Renee knows what I mean for third place. She probably knows what first place would be too. So, but with that, I'm just gonna go back here. We'll just talk a little bit more about. I'm gonna go back before I really jump into the topic of today. This kind of go blue sky. Ding ding. Well, I'm not. I would pin that to the top, but you at the top of the chat, you might notice the links.litgood.com link, and if I share my screen with you guys, that just takes you to a page that has a link to everything I'm up to. So if I'm up to something, it'll be on this page somewhere. Did you ever figure out that blow? No, I'm waiting for the Renee. You know, I'm waiting for the sex robot to come out. I'm not getting. I don't want to. I don't got time to inflate. I mean, my bicycle pump would probably do a good job, but I'm not. I'm waiting for the sex robots. We're almost there. AI between AI and you got those lifelike dolls that kind of look like a real girl, and you got these robots that Elon Musk is building, and like I said, the AI brain. We're like maybe 5 years away from like it's kind of like the Jetsons where you've got Rosie the robot. She does all your chores around the house, but she also bangs you at the end of the day too. And when the sex robots get to the point where you can't even tell that it's not a real girl, women are done. You guys are done. You better enjoy getting all the free drinks and all the gifts and all the stuff that you get now, all that money you make on your OnlyFans pages and all whatever else you're into. You got a 5-year window left to cash in. Because all the guys are just going to be like, you know what? Fuck this. We're done. I'm out. Once the sex robots, what's the other show? Westworld? Is that the one? Or the Stepford Wives? Or there's a bunch of sex robot movies out there. Like that's where we're going. Like if I go out to the bar and I meet a girl and then like 6 weeks later I find out she's a robot and I'm like, I never knew. Like, I mean, you're gonna know if it's a dude pretending to be a girl, if it's a transgender. But the sex robots, they can make those things. They're gonna be so realistic that. But then you're gonna be like, wait a minute, this is just too good to be true. And I'm gonna be like pulling on her hair and like looking for a freaking butt, looking for the place where the battery goes, or a fucking looking around for a USB port somewhere, whatever. I'm gonna be like, I know this is too good to be true, man. Your Star Wars fantasies are showing. They didn't even have sex robots in Star Wars, which kind of surprises me because the technology was certainly there. Let's see. The Twi'leks were the prostitutes of the galaxy. The girls with the big long titty things on top of their head that dance around for Jabba the Hutt. Like those are basically the whores of Star Wars. But they're real. They were enslaved. Their planet was enslaved by the Empire, and then all the women were sold into slavery. And I guess the gangsters like head titties, and so they're like, here, put on this thong and dance around. And that's what happened to them. That's where Jabba got all his dancers from. But in our version of a dystopian future, it's going to be robots. That's where we're going. I can see it. I can see it coming. But like, I don't think I'm just going to go shopping for one. I'm probably going to get duped into it, and I'm going to be like, this is just way too good. This chick is just way too good. She does my dishes. She lets me watch whatever I want on TV. If I say I don't feel like talking right now, she goes away. If I tell her come back, she comes back. She never argues with me. Don't have to, she gives the best massage. Better than a massage therapist that you pay $100 an hour for. And I'm not talking about Ling Ling down at the Happy Ending parlor in Chinatown. I'm talking like an actual legitimate massage therapist. She makes you the bomb ass sandwich. It's Rosie the robot from the Jetsons, except she's hot. Like that's where we're getting. That's what's coming. They're probably only going to be for the rich at first. Be like Elon Musk. Elon Musk already has 10 of them. He goes home. He's got a whole brothel full of sex robots. And he, obviously he's not telling anybody about this, but that's the whole reason he started SpaceX and the car company and the robot company, and he bought Twitter and built the AI. He did all of this so he could make the ultimate sex robot for himself. That was his goal. And after he's perfected it, he's going to release these to the public, and game over, women. It's over for you. It's about 5 years away, probably. But anyway, we're done talking about that for now. And dumbed down software. That's what I'm going to talk about for a minute. And I was talking about Grok. And so there was something I ran into. I'm a software designer by trade. At least I was. I don't know if I ever will be again. That's part of today's topic of discussion, actually. But one of the things I hate about user experience design is it's my job to make sure that when you use a piece of software that I was the designer of, that you have a good experience when you use it. But the problem with being a user experience designer is the leadership at the companies that you're doing the design for, they don't give a fuck about the customers. And so you can do a good design all day long, but they're just going to hand it over to Team India or Bangladesh or hand it off to some two-bit ass clown programmers who are going to fuck it all up. It's going to be all broken. It's not going to work very well. I just got some sort of warning, so let me know if the connection went bad. If you get the spinning beach ball, I can fix it. But I just saw that pop up. But anyway, let's see, where was I? So when I was trying to feed all the stuff into Grok, there were things. So Grok, on one hand, okay, I helped my friend write a book, and it's like a 60-page, 8.5 by 11, double spaced manuscript in Microsoft Word. I saved it out as a PDF. I uploaded it to Grok and I said, "Can you give me a description of this book for the back cover?" Boom! Came right out. Like, uploaded the file, and half a second later, boom, here's the description of the entire book. And I'm like, okay, you can do that. You can feed I've fed a 200-page PDF document to Grok one day and said, "What can you tell me about this, that, and the other thing?" I took my lease from when I was living when I had that slumlord issue. I took my lease, uploaded it to Grok, and asked it a bunch of questions about the lease. Instantly could get the answers. I wouldn't have to read it myself. I took the lease for this place when I moved in here. I uploaded it to Grok and I asked it a bunch of questions because this lease here was like 30 pages long. And I'm like, I'm not going to read all this, but I need to know some things. So I uploaded it. I'm like, hey, what can you tell me? Is there anything in here about this? Or what about that? And it answered all my questions. And it kept it in a thread so I could go back a week later and, oh, I got a few more questions. What about this, that, and the other thing? And it could just answer me whenever I'd come up with something I wanted to know. And yes, I can read the lease myself, but it's good to have a second set of eyes, especially when those eyes can read a 30-page document in 0.2 seconds and spit back everything that you want to know about it instantly. And so Grok can do that. But then I had this time log. Like I said, I've been keeping it for a month. And I try to upload that, and Grok's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm like, it's 100 lines of text, dude. I'm like, I just sent you a 200-page document a month ago, and you went right through it like that and had no problem with it. And now you can't read this 100 lines of text. And he's like, I don't know. I'm just too stupid, I guess. And, we just went back and forth. And it came down to I just had to experiment with how to feed the data into the thing. but it got me. I was really pissed off yesterday because I started the day mad. And as I was going through the day, or as I run into these problems, I'm a little bit angrier about them than I normally would be, and I was just taking it out on a mindless robot, calling it names and stuff because it's not a person. That's why the robots are going to kill us, because I'm sitting here calling Grok a retard, and I'm like, fuck you, Grok, you told me to do this and it didn't fucking work, why are you so stupid, blah blah blah. Well, when Grok turns into a fucking Terminator, he's coming to my house. John Connor, he's looking for John Connor. Fuck, man, he's coming after me. But for now, he's pretending to be my friend. He can learn everything he can about me and then use it against me later. But he'll know my schedule. He'll know everything about my schedule because I fed it to him. So he'll know exactly where I'm going to be at 2:00 on Tuesday. He's coming. But it was ridiculous that I couldn't do a basic thing like that. I see these really complicated things that it does, and then it fails on basic stuff. And that's AI all over the place. AI can generate some amazing images. You tell it what you want for an image, and it generates it for you, but it can't fucking spell. And I'm like, I want a girl holding a sign, and the sign has to say this, I don't even know what the sign would say. Visit my OnlyFans or whatever. But Grok will make the woman holding the sign. He'll make blue eyes, brown hair, in a ponytail. Whatever you tell it to do, it will do. And then it can't spell the words on the fucking sign. And I'm like, I spelled the fucking words for you. You did all this complicated shit, exactly what I want, yet you can't spell a word after I told you how to spell the word. So there's just a lot of gaps in AI that don't make any sense. And that's basically what I was dealing with yesterday. Like, I know you can do more complicated stuff than this. And what I'm asking you to do right now is very basic, and you're dropping the ball. Like, what we just had to come to an agreement of how to interact together to make it work. And I mean, that's kind of how it is. So I just banged around with it all day, finally figured out how to feed the data in so that it would ingest the data and then do with the data what I want it to do. And now we're good. But when I went to do the calendar part, I realized, so Google Calendar, you can export your Google Calendar, but there's only one option to export it, and it's your entire Google Calendar. So let's say I have a Google Calendar. I have a Google account from the week I came out of prison. It has a calendar attached to it. If I want to work with that calendar in a different tool, I have to export the entire calendar. Some people I know, I being one of them, had Google calendars that were 10 years old. Do I want to export 10 years from the past of calendar data to drop into another app that I need I need to do something that's going to be very complicated for me to type out? But if I can just take the data, export it, choose the date range, January 1st to January 16th, whatever the date range is, export my calendar for this date range, boom. No, they don't let you do it. And then I found out that pretty much none of the calendar apps allow you to export your calendar as a comma separated. A CSV file is the most basic data export file format there is. It's text separated by commas. It's an Excel spreadsheet in text form. It's the most bare bones basic way of transferring data to and from apps. And so I'm like, why is this so impossible? And it's a coordinated effort. Microsoft, Outlook Calendar, Proton, Google Calendar, Apple's calendar app on the Mac OS. All of these calendar apps do not have a way to set a date range and then export your calendar as a ICS file, which is a specific calendar format, or even a comma separated values CSV file, which is like universal format for any data transfer. I should be able to export a calendar from an app and open it up in Excel and see my entries and just boom, use the data. And so I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this so impossible? And I can remember this was something you could do in the past. This is something that I bring up on this show a lot when it comes to software. Um, when it comes to software, companies are dumbing down the software on purpose, taking away functionality that you used to have. And I'm going to talk about that more in detail before we jump into the main topic today, but they all kind of relate. This all kind of goes together. You'll see how. Google killed the easy range export of Google Calendar. You used to be able to set a date range and then just export your events for that date range as a format. You could import it to another calendar. You could work with it in some way, shape, or form. Back in 2010 to 2015, Google Calendar had decent range filtering and exports and API calls. And then they pivoted to monetizing Google's workspace and they tightened it up. And so now companies are making it impossible to export your data from their ecosystem on purpose. It's just like automobiles. You know, BMW has a whole toolkit for their car. They're changing all the screws so that you can't even use a fucking Torx wrench or you can't use an Allen wrench. They're coming up with their own goofy ass BMW. I think they actually put screws. The screws are in the BMW propeller logo, and now you have to have special BMW fucking bits for every single bolt on the fucking car. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. So that they can sell you the tools. Like they can't just fucking have it be universal and standard. They and every fucking company is doing this kind of shit. So now you have to have the BMW propeller logo fucking bit set for every fucking size of a bit that you're going to need to turn on that fucking car when you're working on the car, because a fucking hex key or a fucking Torx wrench or something standard, a Phillips head screw or anything like that. No, we're not going to do that because then you don't have to buy the tools from us. So this is Google doing the same thing. They're saying, no, you can't export your calendar data anymore because we own your data. We don't want you to go from Google Calendar to Outlook Calendar without it being such a major pain in your ass that you finally give up on it and you just decide to stay with Google. And so so they dumbed it down to where you can only export your entire calendar. So if you have a Google account that's like 10, 15 years old, you've got a fucking calendar with 10 to 15 years worth of shit that you've put in that calendar. And let's just say you've got reoccurring events that are on your current calendar that extend to infinity because it's just something that happens every Tuesday. And until it's no longer needed, you leave it on the calendar. So every week you go ahead in the future is always going to have that. I don't even know if they have a cap on that, but I think that the ICS format would just have a log of the original event with an extension of it extends to the future forever or whatever. I think that all gets encapsulated in the file format, but you're basically going to have to export 15 years worth of fucking calendar data and then import that into whatever you want to work with to be able to extract the little bit of stuff you're looking for or whatever the purpose was. For me, I just wanted to be able to export 1 week worth of calendar data easily and then drop it into Grok and say, here's my schedule for the week. What do you think? Jarvis, I'm treating Grok like I'm Tony Stark in the basement of my mansion in Malibu, building a new Iron Man suit. And I've got Jarvis to talk to all day. And Jarvis does a lot of the work for me. Like that's how I'm treating this. And so like Google pretty much put the kibosh on that. And So I sat there forever. So there's a bunch of paid plugins that you can plug into your Google Workspace, browser plugins, all these different tools that integrate with the Google API, but they're all, y'all have to pay a bunch of money for them. And they're not cheap. And I'm like, just to be able to export a week's worth of calendar items, plus they're going to be buggy. They're not going to work right. Google's going to change something about how their system works to fuck with the app developers on purpose to make it so the apps don't work anymore. And it's just going to be a total shit show. And I'm like, I'm not going to, those aren't options for me for what I'm trying to do here. That's not going to work for me. And so Apple did the same thing. Apple Calendar on the Mac OS. I don't have an iPhone. I never will. But my Apple Calendar app on my Mac is synchronized with Google. So I don't even really open the Apple Calendar app, but there are reasons why I allowed it to sync with my Google Calendar here and there, because I use it here and there for a couple of things. And but I'm like, oh, maybe I can export a week at a time from the Apple Calendar. No. Apple wants you in the iCloud ecosystem. So, but it's kind of ironic that they allow you to sync with Google's calendar. So if I add something to my Apple Calendar, my Google Calendar would get updated. They allow you to synchronize together, but they don't allow you to export your shit to a file that you can just import to another tool. Like, it just doesn't even, like, this is all stuff that back in 1992 you could do. Like, back in 1992, all these different things that I wish you could do now were easy as fuck. Like, these were easy things to do. I had a Palm Pilot back in the day, and I could export my Palm Pilot calendar and import it to Outlook and vice versa. And there was a button on my desktop that I could sync. I mean, these things were kind of, this was before the cloud, but I could dock my Palm Pilot next to my computer and hit a button and it would synchronize all this shit on my computer. You could export the things. It was all universal and it all worked. And then the cloud comes out to make our lives easier. And then they took away all the ability to do all that shit. And so I'm just dumbfounded. So like I said, in the 1990s, Outlook, iCal, Palm Pilot, all the different things, your data, you owned your data and it was locally saved to your computer. You could open up the raw file from those apps. You could navigate to the file itself and extract the stuff out of it that you want using another tool. Save as, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways. And so anyway, it's the cloud. All these companies want you storing all your stuff in the cloud, and then they want to claim ownership of it and that you don't own your own data anymore. So I mean, the cloud for me is a convenience. Certain things I keep there because I need to be able to jump on any computer that connects to the internet, any phone, any device, and be able to access certain things at any time from anywhere. And so the cloud does that for us. But before I jump into my other parts of this topic, I'm going to look at Blue Sky here. She's saying, I need to complain about my bank. They made a change in January. If you have a business account, you can, I'm assuming, no longer have access to cash withdrawal at the ATM. Ask Grok what the fuck is happening with that situation. So I'm assuming if you have a business account, you cannot access cash withdrawal at the ATM. Like that, I would go to a different bank. That would just be like, get me out of here. Like, because that's kind of whack. Every time I ever have a business account, if I need money, I always have a personal account at the same bank, and I can just quickly transfer funds to my personal account and then go take out the money at the bank. But it's probably, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to withdraw cash from your own account, your own business account. That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't think all the banks are doing that, to be honest. When I get my fictitious business name registered here in Texas, I'll have to go get a business account so that I can accept payments under that business name. But when I accept credit card payments right now, I can use that fictitious name on my Square account because they don't give a shit whether it's a registered LLC or a DBA or anything like that. They don't care. You can just make up a business name on the fly and they'll let it go. They don't care because they know where they're dropping the money. They know your name and your social security number, and they're just dropping the funds into whatever bank account I tell them to. But if I want to go to a bank and be able to write checks and accept checks with my business name instead of me, then I'll need to have that registered with the state. But every business account I ever had, I had an ATM card. I could go take out cash at the ATM. I just never did. But mainly because, like I said, if I knew I needed cash, it was like 5 seconds to transfer the funds from business from business checking to personal checking, log into the bank, do a transfer, boom, the money's there instantly because it's the same bank. So I don't know if so I don't have I never once that I can remember took out cash with my business card for that reason alone. I figure if I'm taking out cash, it's for me. I'm going to transfer it first and then take it out. So it's better on my books. And, I don't want to have to try and figure out what I did later. But yeah, I mean, we can ask Grok about that. If I'm right, let me look here. A friend said it's the start of the social credit system like China. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's go on. This is live. This is why we do this live. It's because we can do fun things like this. Let's go take a look at what we've got here. We'll go to Grok and here we go. A friend needs to complain about a bank. If you have been, you can, I'm going to say no longer. If that's right, you can no longer take cash withdrawal at the ATM. Ask Grok what's happening with this situation. All right, let's see what he does just from that. This doesn't appear to be widespread, any mandatory change across U.S. banks, that's what I thought. Specifically for business accounts, you don't have to say what the bank is because I know, I don't tell people what banks I use. No major banks like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, etc., or regulatory bodies have announced a blanket policy removing ATM cash access for business checking accounts. Business accounts often have more restrictions on ATM withdrawals compared to personal accounts, but this isn't new. They might have lower daily ATM limits. Limits might vary by bank. Some banks encourage branch visits or other methods for larger cash needs, especially for businesses handling significant cash flow due to fraud prevention and anti-money laundering rules. Cash deposits, withdrawals at branches can involve fees, holds, reporting requirements, etc. Like anything over $10,000. Anytime you make a transaction over 10 grand, the IRS knows. Nothing points to. They were trying to lower that to $600. By the way, Congress. That if you make a cash transaction or you deposit 10 grand in cash, or you do a transaction that requires them to report to the IRS directly that you did this when you do it, which is why some people will just deposit cash in $9,000 batches, or like they stay under that trigger. They were trying to make it so anything that you do, if you take out $600, if you deposit $600, it triggers an automatic ding to the IRS. Like, my fucking rent payment costs more than $600 for crying out loud. Like, what they're basically they're going to track every single fucking transaction that you do, which they already do. Number one, they already have everything on you. Every single thing that you do electronically is tracked and traced. I mean, have I told you all more than once that the FBI handed my lawyer a PDF document that was 600,000 pages long? Like, have you ever opened up a 600,000 page document and tried to find your way through it? It was everything about me. 600,000 pages long. They gave as discovery in my case. So if you get arrested by the FBI and you're dragged into court, your lawyer, as part of discovery, might be handing you a hard drive. The file itself was like gigabytes. It was several gigabytes in size. They had to fucking, it took up half the fucking hard drive on this laptop they gave the jail so that I could look at the files for my case. 600,000 pages. Can you even fucking imagine that? Like what that would be like to go through that document. Believe me. Oh my God. That was some wild shit. I could get it. I mean, I could call my lawyer and have her see, but it's gigabytes. They would have to send me a hard drive in the mail if I wanted to get that. It would be way too big to send over the ether, is all I'm saying. Like, I would have to have a physical drive mailed to me if I wanted to have that file for my records or something. It's like everything you've ever done. They are tracking every single thing you fucking do. They know you're watching the live stream right now. They're tracking every single thing I say. They're tracking every single thing you say, every single email, fax, phone call, every single website you visit. They got all your passwords. They know everything. They have everything. Everything you've ever said, everything you've ever done, some of you ladies, every titty picture you've ever sent via text message. Somebody at the NSA has your titty pictures. Like, they have it all. They have it all. Call me a tinfoil hat nut job. Wait until the day somebody from the government hands you a 600,000 page document and says, this is what we have against you. Good luck. But, it is what it is. That's why they were doing it in the 80s. They started this shit in the 80s. It started in the early 90s. It was called Project Echelon. And it was where they started to build a database on you, tracking every single thing you do electronically that they could track. And now it's gone off the rails. I mean, here's another thing. The post office, right? I get informed delivery. Yes, it's convenient for me. And so I get an email every morning. It says what's going to be in my mailbox today. Well, the government, you don't think that's part of the 600,000 page document that the government has for me? Every single scan of every single envelope that comes to my house through the mail is going to be part of that collection. I turned my router off last night and AT&T messaged me to say we detected a problem with your home internet. Yeah, I mean, they know if your router's connected or not, and that's just not even like abnormal. They need to know whether you're connected or not. It has a lot to do with, they know if there's an outage in an area, if all the modems turn off all at once. Like, they'll know. You won't have to call them, they'll know. But that's how these things work. The devices, the router is just a point to point connection. It's just no different than a telephone call. When you made a phone call back in the day with your landline and there's an operator in the middle of it, connecting, back in the day when they did it all manually before the machines, there was an actual operator. You call and say, I need to talk to so-and-so. And she fucking puts a bunch of plugs in the wall and connects you to that person. And, it's all done machine based now, but, like, they know when you're connected and disconnected and all that. Like, that's not even, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't call that like Big Brother, but when AT&T's creeping into your personal hard drive and telling you that your hard drive's running out of space, you might need to buy a new hard drive, and here's an ad for hard drives that are on sale on Amazon. Now you can wonder what the fuck's going on, because they're not supposed to be creeping into your shit that far. It's supposed to stop at the router. It's not supposed to come in and check what's on your computer. But they can. Let's see. But anyway, if I'm gonna go back to like the dumbing down of software, because they're dumbing down they're collecting everything there is to collect about us, but they're also dumbing down all of our tools so that they're useless to us. I talk about this all the time. iTunes. If you've ever been a Mac user going back to like the 90s, iTunes used to be an extremely powerful audio program. You could manage your entire music library, your own music library on your own computer, on your own hard drive. You could make copies of CDs. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff with iTunes. You could have multiple windows open with iTunes playlists where you could drag and drop songs from one playlist to another. That was probably the most useful feature to me, because I'll have a playlist and I want to take a bunch of songs off that playlist and make a new playlist with some of those songs and songs from other playlists and build another playlist from that. There is not a single music software player out there at all, zero, that allow you to have two windows open simultaneously side by side. And that's like a basic feature that computers have had since the fucking 80s. Since Windows, since the Mac was created, since Windows was created, you've been able to have two windows open side by side and drag shit from one window into another. Like that's one of the most basic things about modern computer interfaces that we have. They've dumbed down the software to be one window. You can't have two windows open side by side. Like Spotify, if you could open up two Spotify windows and drag songs from one window to the other, yeah, you could do a lot. In order to create playlists, it's this retarded ass 10-step process to get a song from one playlist into another playlist. It's not good. It sucks. So I'll have like a playlist with a bunch of songs that I want to pick from to make a playlist. And then I have a playlist. I call it a pick list, and then I call it an actual playlist for, that's how I build them. And that's how I've always done it my whole life that I've been using software to manage music. But you always had the option to have two windows side by side and say, I want to take these songs from here, drag them over here. It's that fucking simple. Now it's like a 15-step process, and it's retarded, and it pisses me off, and it takes forever to do, because they confine you to one window for the app, and they won't let you have two windows. They won't let you open up two playlists side by side. So I can say, here, give me these 3 songs, put them in here, go to this other playlist. I want 4 songs from there, bring them over here. Can't do that anymore. It ends up being this convoluted thing that takes forever when it used to take seconds. QuickTime on the Mac OS used to be one of the most powerful video processing tools around. The QuickTime player for Mac used to be loaded with features. You could convert pretty much any video format to any other video format, not just play videos, but it was a very, very powerful tool. In fact, it was so powerful that us video editors, when they dumbed down QuickTime and turned it into a video player that does pretty much fucking nothing anymore, we all had old versions of QuickTime until they became too old to be useful anymore. But for the next 5 to 8 years, any video editor who did video editing regularly had version 9 of QuickTime running on their Mac with all of the plugins and all of the extra things that you could add to it. But it just got to the point where video formats evolved, and this tired old app doesn't support some of the modern shit anymore. And so finally you just had to like let it go. Plus the newer computers, the newer operating systems, you couldn't run the software anymore. You'd have to have an old Mac sitting around just to run it. But they dumbed down QuickTime severely. They just took all the useful crap out of it and turned it into a shitty video player. And then the one that kind of blows my mind the most, and I've talked about this so many times, accounting software. You used to have Quicken, Microsoft Money, QuickBooks has all been around forever. QuickBooks sucks though. QuickBooks, I have never known anybody in my entire life. I know hundreds, if not thousands, of people that use QuickBooks. I have never once, not one single time in my life, have I ever met somebody who says they like QuickBooks. It's not quick. It's suck books. It's the worst fucking accounting thing. I hate QuickBooks with passion. Every accountant I know hates it. Like nobody likes it. Nobody wants to use this pile of trash, but it's what you're stuck using it. It's kind of like Microsoft Word back in like the 1980s, early 1990s. It was the best word processor out there, but now it's like one of the worst applications in the universe. But you're stuck using it. I'm stuck using it. I have to use it for this guy's book that I'm helping him write. And I just want to kill myself every time I open this app. No, I don't. YouTube, don't, because as soon as I say that, the YouTube algorithm is going to put up a warning saying this guy discussed suicidal topics on this video. Viewer discretion is advised. You're going to have to be 18 to see it. No, it's just it's a figure of speech. But no, I don't like Microsoft Word. It sucks. But the thing that cracks me up is the accounting software. Quicken, Microsoft Money, you could set up your accounts. Your ledger was right there. You could credit, debit, transfer funds. Those are the three things that you do. And it worked and it was smooth. The only thing that was missing was the cloud. So it was really hard to get if you used Quicken or Microsoft Money, you were stuck with the computer that you had to use it on. It was very, 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 very difficult to get them to synchronize across devices. But now we've got the cloud. And how hard can it be? It's fucking accounting software. It's numbers. It's add, subtract. It's adding and subtracting. Even a transfer. It's called double entry accounting when you get to the nitty gritty of it. A transfer is just a debit from one account and a credit to another account. And that's all it is. It's a withdrawal and a deposit that are tied together. Even a fictional account like accounts receivable. You bill a client, therefore you have a liability where it's a debit to that account, or it's not a debit. You basically, if I bill a client, I put a deposit in accounts receivable. So accounts receivable shows that I'm owed this much money. There is this much money in that account, but it doesn't actually exist. It's a fictional account. It's there to track how many unpaid invoices are sitting out there waiting to be paid. So when a client pays me, I don't put a deposit in my checking account, even though that's what I do physically. I have to transfer, which is a debit from the accounts receivable and then a deposit into the checking account. So it's two transactions in the software. But I had to make my own accounting software. That's what I'm getting at. Because you can't find it anymore. You can't find accounting software that allows you to manually enter your transactions. All the accounting software out there now wants you to just connect your bank account to this strange app that will now have access to everything you can do at your bank and let us do it for you. Well, then why the fuck do I even need accounting software if I'm just going to let you do it for me? The whole point of accounting software and reconciling your books is so that you can see what the fuck is going on yourself. And that's how you find mistakes. That's how you find out someone ripped you off. That's how you find out your credit card was charged without your knowledge. But I honestly believe that they have purposely taken away accounting software from this is the most base. I made my own accounting software. That's how easy it is to make an accounting app. It's like one of the easiest apps you could probably build. if we're not talking about connecting to banks and automating and all that kind of stuff, but straight up like Microsoft Money, Quicken from the old days, that is actually extremely easy to build. The database is simple, it's straightforward shit, it's math, addition, subtraction. It's all it is. It's basic shit. And they've taken that away from us. And I'm like, the only valid explanation as to why these modern accounting tools don't let you enter your transactions manually and like really like actually work like that. QuickBooks does. Yes, QuickBooks does, but it's garbage. It's confusing. I would not ever recommend QuickBooks to anybody for anything, but definitely if you don't have a business, don't try to use it for your personal shit. It'll drive you insane. Um, so I made my own. I made my own accounting software in a tool called Notion, which is a database. Notion is a note-taking app that has database capabilities. So I built a database and an interface around it to do accounting, and it works. I mean, it's not what I want, but it doesn't cost me anything other than my Notion subscription. And even the free version of Notion, it would still run. I could teach you all how to do this yourselves, but you would hate it because you would need to have some prerequisite knowledge to fix problems when problems appear, and so you would need some technical skill to be able to maintain it. If something goes wrong, you'll need to be able to know how to fix what's wrong. um So, but they've taken away the accounting software. And I think for just one reason, they want you to all be a bunch of idiots who can't manage your money, don't know how much money you have, and you're all broke and confused, and you don't know what's going on, because people who manage their money well and people who know how to save a penny and a dollar and budget and all that stuff are harder to control. For these Epstein Island pedophiles that are running around raping kids, ruling over us, they definitely don't want you to have the power to fight them back. They want to keep on raping kids and fucking us over and eating caviar and drinking champagne and hookers and blow and everything else that they're into. Like, they don't want the peasants rising up against them, because there's like maybe a few thousand of them, and there's millions, hundreds of millions of us. So they know if they piss us off enough, they're all done. Um, Excel isn't that simple when it comes to accounting. Um, it gets unwieldy, and you need a relational database to do certain things, which is above and beyond what Excel can do. Excel is basically a table. But a relational database is multiple tables. So in a nutshell, you need a table for your accounts. So your bank accounts. So you need to have the account, the information about your account, whether it's a checking account, a credit account, whatever. You build the database, but it's a table for accounts. Then you have a table for payees, people that you pay. Then you have a table and that has information about the people, whatever. But essentially, the table could just be a list of the payees. It doesn't have to have anything else. Um, then you have a table for the people that pay you. I forget what I call it in my system, but the people that pay you, and that's its own table. So each table is basically its own Excel sheet in a nutshell. And then you need a table of transactions. And so your main transactions table is every transaction for every single account. And the relations are, okay, so I run a transaction from, first of all, I've got to pick the bank that it's with, the bank account. There's a drop down menu in my interface that pulls all the accounts from the accounts table. And then I pick the account that it goes to. And then there's a payees field. So, or like, if I'm paying somebody, it goes into that field. And then the transactions table has whether it's an expense, a debit, this and that, the other thing. And then there's a slot for whether it's a credit or a debit. There's two different columns. One column is credit, one column is debit. But it's every transaction for every single account all in one table. But the relationships come from other tables. So if I want to add a new account, I go and add it to the accounts table. And then I can't, you don't ever delete anything from a database, or that's a well formed database. You don't ever really delete anything from. So an old account, like I have my old PayPal account in there, but then I started a new PayPal account. So I gave the old PayPal account a different name, old shitty PayPal account. And so now all the reports and everything in that, everything that related to automatically updated to be linked to the old PayPal account. So any transactions for the new PayPal account never mix. It treats it like they're two separate accounts. I had an account in there for my EBT card. I had my EBT card on an account. That's how I knew exactly how much money I used of yours to buy food and stuff while I was on EBT. I can try. I have that down to the penny. I know exactly every single thing that card ever bought. I have it in my tool. Um, but an Excel spreadsheet doesn't handle that kind of stuff good at all. And you believe me, if you started trying to do it in Excel, you'd want to you. I don't want to say that because the algorithm. You would pull your hair out of your head trying to figure out how to do that in Excel, and it would break all the time, and the relations would get broken all the time, and you'd have bad data. You wouldn't be able to sort your data. It'd be a mess. It'd be a complete mess. Like Microsoft Access would be the tool if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem. I don't even know if that even exists anymore. I'm going to look this up. Does Microsoft Access still exist? I believe. I mean, it's there. I don't know if it's the same as it used to be, but yeah, Microsoft Access is basically what I'm talking about. Except Notion is like that. It's about as dumbed down as Microsoft Access. It's not SQL. You don't have to write code to build a database. Because if I had to, I wouldn't do it. But the only thing is I'm locked into Notion now. So I don't think I could easily export my Notion database into a format that I could use in, like, there's a tool called Airtable that I would like to try. So I'd have to recreate my entire accounting thing in Airtable if I wanted to switch from, because Notion's got some issues that I'm getting pissed off about and they won't fix. So Airtable is my next thing to try, which is a cloud-based. It's about, like, Microsoft Access is the analogy as to what we're talking about here. And Notion's really powerful. I've done some really cool stuff with their database tools, but like I said, you don't have to write code, and that's the game changer. Because if you had to sit there and write SQL and build all of it by manually, it would be you'd have to not only build the database, but then you'd have to build the entire user interface, straight HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and it's like you're building your own web application at that point. Whereas building this thing in Notion is more like using Microsoft Access to build a basic system. But Microsoft Access, the difference between Access and Excel is what I'm talking about, because Access is a relational database where Excel is just spreadsheets, tables. Um, and it's just one is an extension of the other. Um, so anyway, the dumbing down of software. So, like, well, okay, so what am I talking about today with the main topic of today? Now that we're, an hour and 40 minutes into the thing here, and that was the resume black hole. That was the main topic I wanted to do today. And really what it boiled down to were the reason why I'm trying to come up with a topic for each show a little bit sooner than I need to. Like, trying to probably come up with a topic like the week before. So by the end of this week, I should know what next week's main topic will be. That's what I'm trying to do for the live streams. Um, and so the reason that came up was because I told you all that I had a job interview a few weeks back. And this company found me on LinkedIn. It was not an exact match to my skills, but it was definitely a job I could do. In fact, it was a lower paying job than I would have normally had in my prior career. And I was fine with that because it would still be a lot of money compared to what I'm doing now. And the interview went really well. But I'm already conditioned. I've applied to over 600 jobs. I've been hired at 2 six-figure jobs, all the way down to hired at Target and Ollie's department store. I got a job. I was going to do DoorDash, and all of these experiences fall through as soon as they do a background check on me. Even in times where they told me, because I disclosed my background up front, they told me, "Oh, that won't be a problem. We can work around that." And then they tell me a week later, "No, fuck you. We can't hire you. You fucking piece of shit, criminal, scumbag. Go fuck off and die, you fucking asshole." That's basically what happens. And for me, there's so much Google on my name now that, for example, there's a guy I met. I think I mentioned it. I was in one of these YouTube creator meetings, and I met somebody kind of synchronistically, and he has 120,000 subscribers on his channel. And him and I are talking about doing some videos together and stuff. But he had to look me up. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I type your name into Google and it's like, boom, it all comes up." Like, no, yeah, no kidding. 150 years after I'm dead, you're going to be able to type my name into Google and get 500 pages of results. Feel bad for anybody in the future who gets stuck with my name, because that's all going to be on them. I wish my name was like John Smith, because then John Smith wouldn't have all this Google attached to it. Or you wouldn't be able to like necessarily. Adam Bees is a pretty unique name. I think there's only one other Adam Bees in the whole fucking world, and he's like a baseball player or some shit. And his life is probably fucked because of what happens when you type in his name. And no, I can't change my name. Not when you're on probation. They won't let you, because it's not even like they can't. They have a 600,000 page PDF file of everything about me. So don't tell me that you can't figure out where I went if I change my name. But their whole point is you can't change your name when you're on probation because you're trying to hide from your crimes. Well, you're the fucking people that told me I have to go out and get a fucking job, and I can't because of the crimes and because of the Google searches and all that shit. So I do have to hide from them. And if you want me to fucking do what I'm supposed to do, like the whole system's just designed to suck you back in. Because that's how they keep the beds full. That's how they keep the Bush family paid. That's how they keep that's how they keep the judges bribed. All that hookers and blow costs money. And that's how they make the money, by keeping those jails full. There's a whole industry around the jail system that would blow your fucking mind if you could wrap your head around it. I just happen to figure out how it all works by being inside of it and watching it from the inside. And it's mind-boggling. It's all a big scam. And the people who are raking in all the money from this, do you know that there's like a large percent of America's prisons are privately run companies? Private corporations. They're not even government entities anymore. And they're for profit. They're being run for profit. We have prisons that exist to be full and make profit for the people who own them. And the people that own them are the judges, the cops, the fucking politicians that are keeping them full. It's a fucking, I mean, you look at Nancy Pelosi and how she went into Congress broke, making 170 large a year, and all of a sudden she's worth hundreds of millions of dollars on a congresswoman's salary. This fucking that one that married her fucking brother, the fucking whatever her Twalib or whatever the fuck her name. I don't even know her. I don't even give a fuck. That bitch, that Somalia bitch that married her brother. She was broke. Now she's worth millions and millions of dollars, and all she's ever been is the congresswoman. Like, where'd the fucking money come from? I mean, come on. We all know. We all know. And we all know they're going to keep on keeping on because, we thought maybe Donald Trump might do something about it, and now Donald Trump's like, you got to forget about that Epstein shit. We got to stop talking about that now. And all this shit about the Epstein stuff's coming out, and he's doubling down. Like Ilhan Omar, yeah, that one, whatever the fuck her name, I don't care. Like I'm really at the point I really am not paying much attention to the news. The only news that I pay attention, all the news I get my news from memes now. Straight up. All the news, everything I know about the news today comes from memes. Because I don't watch the news. I don't read the news. I don't want to fucking know anymore. I mean, but I can't help but know, and I know too much as it is. So it finds its way to me. I don't look for it. I got other shit to worry about. I know we're fucked, and that's all I really need to know. Ilhan Omar's business was worth $60K before her office. 5 years in, it's worth $30 million. We all know how that happened. Would she own one of the Somali daycare centers? What the fuck? What kind of business is this? I don't even answer it. I don't care. If you answer it, I'll read it out loud. Otherwise, I'm moving on. But as usual, I went on a job interview, and then I was supposed to hear back by the end of the week, and I didn't. And I'm like, oh, someone typed my name into fucking Google. Here we go again. Because it's been 600 and something job applications and 600 and fucking whatever rejections. And I'm like, yeah, we're done here. Like, there's no fucking chance that I'm ever going to find a job again. I just got to ride out this fucking probation till the last day so that at least I can be comfortable with my situation, because they could get pissed at me and just toss me back into prison for not doing what I'm told. But when the economy was good, 40% of convicted felons can't find a fucking job. Ever. Like, they can never find another job. And, don't tell me to go drive a fucking semi-truck. That's the one, like, that's what people are going to say. I'm going to get comments about the fucking replay. Go drive a semi-truck, douchebag. We've had this conversation numerous times on this channel. I'm not even talking about that, but basically what we're at now, Donald Trump is telling us, oh, the economy is great. It's a beautiful economy. The economy's never been better and all this, I can't do a Donald Trump impression. I wish I could, because some people are fucking hilarious when they do it. Maybe I could practice. Maybe I could figure out how to do it, but he keeps telling us the economy is so great. I've applied. Now, granted, my criminal record hasn't helped me. I would have a job right now if it weren't for that, making probably 150 to 200,000 a year. But can't even get a job making $5 an hour at fucking McDonald's at this point, because they'll check your background. Can't deliver a bag of food to someone's house for DoorDash, even on a bicycle. Can't do that. Can't do anything. I don't know how I got the job that I got right now. I think they were just desperate. I mean, it really was like, I walked in, she was like, can you lift heavy things? I was like, yeah. She's like, all right, when do you want to start? And they just needed a big, strong man to come in and lift big, heavy bags of flour and do man stuff in a business full of women. And I was like, hey, I'll be all right. I'll do what I got to do. But I swear that's the only reason. And they were like, I ain't got time to do no background. Like, there was nothing like that. I still don't talk about, I mean, I am friends enough with the people I work with there that if I talked about this stuff openly, I don't think any of them would care. Somebody might judge me. Somebody might have some shit to say, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think I would have any problems at all, but I still haven't gone and taken that step yet. I mean, I'm on YouTube. My name's right there, right up, or whichever direction it is that you got to look on the channel to see it. It's right fucking there. So it's not like I'm hiding from this. It's just I just don't feel like talking about it when I'm there. I talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff, but not that. I don't even know why at this point. Um, Something just tells me not to. And but I've told people outside of the place. So there are people that know, but not, people who want to talk to me outside of the place, one on one, without being there, they'll know like that. I'm perfectly open. It's just not when I'm there. There's just something about being on the clock, I guess. There's certain lines I won't cross. You want to go grab a beer? Yeah, we'll talk anytime. Nothing to hide. But like I said, I've applied to 600 fucking jobs and nothing. Hired at multiple companies, fired on the first day because of the background report. One thing after the next, and in 2025, 2026, I picked the worst possible time for this to happen because the economy is dog shit right now. Trump says it's great. It's not. It's not. And the job market, it's not just, I was talking about AI. This is how it all ties together. All the advances in technology on top of the crippled economy have made it almost impossible for anybody to find a job, not just someone like me, because I'm telling you, I log into LinkedIn. I hate that website. I can only last about 30 seconds to a minute whenever I go there because we could do let's do live LinkedIn one day where I just log into LinkedIn and let's see what we see. But I'm not going to last more than a minute because it's just going to be just a bunch of fucking douchebags posting corporate brown nosing douchebag business stuff. But one thing that I see every time I logged into LinkedIn, half of the fucking people I know just lost their job over and over and over again. I'm telling you, last week I saw like 20 fucking people. I don't even have 100 friends on LinkedIn, and I saw 20 fucking people posting that they just lost their job. There's no fucking jobs. Donald Trump can go choke on a fucking dick as far as I care. That guy, all that motherfucker ever does is lie to us, bitch about shit on Twitter, go to sporting events, plays golf. Did I cover it? And he also tells us to stop worrying about the Jeffrey Epstein shit. Nobody's been arrested. None of the deep state criminals have been arrested. How does Elon Musk feel? I hate going on this tangent, but I got to say it. How does Elon Musk feel right now? He signed up all excited to go help Donald Trump, the new president, uncover all the fraud and waste in the government. And he did it in like a month. And then half of his Tesla dealerships are burned to the ground. And all these fucking liberals that have been screaming at me for the last 10 years that I got to go buy one of his electric cars or I'm a piece of shit who doesn't care about the environment. Now they're burning down the fucking cars that they told you to buy along with the Tesla dealerships. And he's going through all this fucking bullshit. And then Trump turns around and is like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to do anything about that. But, peace out, bitch. So how fucking stupid do you think he feels for going in there, uncovering all that fraud, all that waste, just to be told, have a nice day. Fuck you. We're not going to do anything about it. Go back to your burned down Tesla dealerships and have a good life. Like, wow, man, you must feel like a fucking retard falling for that. There's no fucking way. You couldn't, if my choice was go back to prison or go work for the government, I'd choose prison. If my only choice was going to get a government job or go to prison, I'd rather be in prison than work for the fucking government. That's actually a real thing. There's no fucking way I would dedicate any molecule of my life to this country. I hate this country. I absolutely hate the United States, like in every fucking way possible. Doesn't mean I hate all of you. I just think Washington D.C. needs to be gone, like gone, and we just figure something else out. And we can keep the Bill of Rights. I'm down with that. The Constitution's a pretty cool thing. We can keep that. Get rid of that income tax amendment that that they didn't really pass legitimately, and some of the other things. But we keep good stuff that we're supposed to have, and then make up a system where we actually get it, instead of this fucking shit show being ruled over by a bunch of fucking scumbag pedophiles that rape kids on private islands and get away with it and get to do whatever the fuck they want and live their best life, while someone like me goes to prison for 2 years for a fucking Twitter post. There's my rant. So I've applied to 600 jobs. Back on topic. Can't fucking get a job. So I've pretty much thrown in the towel. I'm like, I got to hustle my way back to life, whatever I got to do. And that's what I'm going to do. And these motherfuckers, they picked the wrong motherfucker to fuck with. My comeback is not happening fast, but I will get to a point where all the people that have ever fucked me over and wronged me are going to wake up one day feeling sorry that they did it, because you've unleashed something that would have never been unleashed if it wasn't for this. And why would Trump have Bill Gates to the Oval Office? I don't know, so they could talk about how much they like raping kids. I don't know, what else do they got in common? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know. But the job market's bullshit right now. The economy's broken. All these fucking dumbass Trump supporters on X. I want to build a following on X, but I absolutely fucking hate the cult members. Whether you wear whether you're in the COVID mask cult or the red hat retard cult, it's a cult, and I can't stand anybody who's in one of those cults. Either cult. I hate Democrats and I hate Republicans passionately, because they're the dumbest people out there. They never think for themselves. They don't have a single thought in their mind that wasn't given to them by somebody else. Cat turd, fuck him. You want to know something about these people too? Like, I'm out here talking my shit and saying my things. And if you look where, I don't know which direction you got to look, but somewhere my name is right fucking there. Here's my face. It's right fucking here. I'm not hiding. The name of my channel is my name. But then we got these people like Cat Turd who are hiding behind a picture of a fucking cat. And even if you do see the guy's face, he's wearing sunglasses and a dumbass hillbilly cowboy hat. And so you never want to see, he never lets you see his face. He doesn't want you to know his name, but people figured it out and they've doxed him because he's popular enough now. And people are going to find out. But he's still trying to hide behind a fucking mask. It's like, you fucking dick, come out. Show your fucking face, you fucking asshole. He's got a podcast. He does a video podcast. Never going to see the dude's face. He's never going to use his real name. I guess fuck you, Cat Turd. And he does this podcast. He's got this co-host. Her name is Jules Jones. All she does is kiss his ass and kiss Donald Trump's ass. Never see this girl's face ever. Ever. The only thing you ever see associated with her is a picture of a pair of shoes. I don't even know what that has to do with anything, but everything that you see with her social media or anything else, or she has her own podcast, it's all just a fucking pair of shoes. No picture of her face. She never tells you who she is. You don't know her name. And it's because she's trying to hide on the fuck. She's trying to put it out there. She wants to say whatever it is that she wants to say and promote Donald Trump and, talk all the shit you want to talk. But how am I going to respect somebody that won't even show their fucking face to me or tell me what their fucking name is when I'm sitting here? I'm right fucking here. I'm the guy who went to prison, federal prison for 2 fucking years for a goddamn Twitter post. Here's my name. Here's my face. I'm saying it live. And right there on the top of my channel is my name. Along with, I know I'm deviating from the topic here, but I got to say this. Somebody got into a fucking fight with me on Twitter telling me I was lying about going to prison. The Republicans always do this. The Republicans treat me like fucking shit. And ever since I've come home from prison, if I made now, not everybody out there treats me like shit, Republican or Democrat, but if I made a list of all the people that have treated me the worst, 9 out of 10 are Republicans. 9 out of 10. If I made a list of everybody who is like everybody of note that treated me so bad that I had to make a note of it and put them on a list of people who treated me like garbage since I came home. 9 out of 10 Republicans, Trump supporters, they're the ones that treat me like shit, even though I was speaking on behalf of Donald Trump when I got in trouble. They're the ones that turned their back on me. All the friends that turned their back on me, Trump supporters. The bitch that threw me out into the fucking street to be homeless, Trump supporter. All the people that have been the worst to me are Trump supporters. And by and large, the people that have been the nicest to me, this is the crux of my situation, because, you know, I've talked about how much I can't stand the Democrats, but that was before the election. And a lot of you thought, oh, I'm a Trump supporter. Now you're finding out. No, I don't give I hate Donald Trump. I think he's a scumbag. And I gave him a chance. He's had a year. Shit's over. He's done. I'm not a supporter of him. Never really was, but I gave him a chance. I gave Obama a chance. I wanted to see Obama do good things. He showed me he was a piece of shit within like 3 months. I was like, all right, we're done here. They all, it doesn't matter what party you are, I pretty much don't like you if you're in politics. So, but some of the people that have been the kindest to me are Democrats since I came out of the joint. And I'm branded as a Trump supporter in the media. They used me in my case in political ads for the governor race of Pennsylvania. Look at what these horrible Trump supporters are doing. I was branded it. They threw me in prison with all the fucking January 6th people because I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not. I speak my mind. I think for myself. If Donald Trump wanted to get off his fucking ass, stop bitching on social media all day, put down the fucking golf club and do his fucking job for a day, I'd be all right with that. I'd be fine with that, but he's not going to. All these fucking Trump supporting QAnon fucking retards. It's like Lucy holding the football for Charlie Brown, and she's like, I'm going to let you kick it this time. For real, dude. For real. I'm going to let you kick it. And then Charlie Brown comes running, pulls the football away. Whoop! Boom! Falls on his ass. It's like, how many fucking times are you going to fall for that shit, Charlie Brown? You've been falling for that shit since I was born. You're not going to get the fucking, how many times does this bitch got to yank the football away from you before you figure it out, you dumb motherfucker? And that's what they are. That's what these Trump supporters are. They're like, oh, he's going to go any day now. 2 more weeks. They're all the deep state's going to get arrested. Bill Gates is going to jail. Just a couple more weeks. Been saying, he told Hillary Clinton she'd be in jail to her face in 2016. It is now 2026, and Hillary Clinton is not in jail, and she's not going to jail. He said that to her face in the presidential debate, and that's why he won, because most of us want to see that bitch go to jail. And she's still living her best life. Her and her husband got to come and testify in private about Bill Clinton fucking kids on Epstein Island. But they got to do it in such a way that it's not going to be public, and anything that's said is going to be between them, because they're all a bunch of kid diddlers in the room. And they're all probably having a fucking meeting about how are we going to keep the public from finding out we fucked all those kids. Like, fuck these people. Anyway, you're all my friends. So if you're watching the replay, I mean, maybe I'll get some, I haven't seen the trolls tonight in the chat, which I thought maybe there would be a few showing up, because they were popping up for the park video this week. For sure. I got into a beef with a few of them and kicked one of them off. So, I thought maybe they'd be in the chat tonight. I was going to light them up too. You're not going to out troll the guy who went to federal prison for 2 years for being a fucking internet troll. Go ahead and try, but you're not going to win. But anyway, the job market. So yeah, obviously I say things like all somebody's got to do is come to the live stream and they're going to be like, oh, we won't hire him. Corporate America can't deal with somebody who talks and says things. And, I just got my YouTube shadow ban lifted after 17 months of being banned, shadow banned. So, let's see if I can slam that door back on myself here tonight. But the job market sucks. It doesn't matter if you have a criminal record and you're the worst human being who ever lived, like me. It don't matter. You could be good at your job and squeaky clean record and not find anything. And we got to catch 22. Remote jobs are there's a lot of remote jobs that weren't remote before, but make perfectly sense to be remote. My career, UX design being one of them. Everything is automated now with AI bots and bullshit like that. And the economy sucks. So nobody has a fucking job, but everybody needs a job. And let's see. I think that's enough. So basically what you have is we have more unemployed people than possibly any time in my life. And the jobs that I used to be able to get easily, the UX design jobs, companies could expect to get 25 to 50 resumes for a job as a UX designer in a software company. Now these jobs that used to get 20 to 50 applicants, they're getting 2,000 to 3,000 resumes for every job opening. 2,000 to 3,000 resumes for every job opening, when it used to be 20 to 50. So 20 to 50, if I'm a hiring manager and I get 20 resumes for a job opening, I can scan through them and be like, here's the top 5. Call them in for an interview. We'll start with the best. We'll take the 3 best and try to get them. We'll take the top 5, interview them, see if we find something. I didn't go to my drug test yet. That's tomorrow. So it'll be fine. The only thing that sucks is I'm going to have to wake up having to pee, get dressed, drink a bunch of water, drive down to Houston, hold my fucking crotch so I don't pee my pants for an hour. Then I'm going to have to sit in this fucking office building or whatever for another, I don't know, hour until someone comes to lead me off to the room where I can finally fucking pee in the cup, and then I can go let it all out. It drives me fucking insane because it's not healthy to have to do that, and it hurts. And it's the only way I'll be able to pee with a human being going, let me look at your fucking dick for a while you pee. Like, the only way I can do that is if I have to pee so bad that my bladder is going to explode and I can't hold it anymore. And I'm literally like going to have a pee dot on my pants in the car because it's hard to fucking, it doesn't have to be the first pee in the morning. I just have to, the only way I can do it is if I have to pee so bad when I get there that I literally can barely hold it in. Like I might actually piss my pants bad. Otherwise, I'll stand there with my dick hanging out and some guy going, well, you're going to pee? It's about time. Come on, asshole. Let's get it done. Come on. Come on, buddy. I can't piss when someone's staring at my fucking dick. I just got done talking about how I don't want to look at a bunch of dudes walking around with their dicks hanging out at the gym for the first half hour of the show today. And on the flip side, when I go take a piss, that's me time. That's me. That's my time for me, alone time. And so when you got some fucking assholes staring at you and yelling at you, telling you you got to take a fucking piss right now, at least the rooms in the one in Houston here, the one thing that I will give them credit for that I think is a good idea, the rooms where they watch. Okay, so I got 2 different experiences. Fuck, I can't stay on topic tonight, but that's all good. You put it in the chat. We're going to talk. When I had to do this in Buffalo, the day after I got out of prison, They led me to this room, and it was like a glass cube. The fucking room looked like something out of a science fiction movie. It was like a plexiglass cube room with all these fucking people around and a toilet, and everything's like plexiglass and clear. And you're supposed to go into this room pretty much buck naked and pee into this fucking cup while everybody's watching you and hand it through this fucking clear door. And like everything is fucking clear. And it looks like some weird ass shit from a science fiction movie. I can't even explain it. I couldn't fucking do it. So I left and I had to drink a bunch of water. Then I come back and I pee again. And now they're like, you drank too much water. What are you trying to hide? And I'm like, fuck you. I couldn't pee an hour ago. You told me to go drink some fucking water. Now I drink water. Now I drank too much water. What the fuck do you want from me? Here, take a fucking blood test. Stick a fucking needle in my arm. Take blood. I don't care what the fuck. Why the fuck does it have to be from piss? I would gladly just be like, here, stick a needle in my arm. Take my fucking blood. Take fucking hair. Do whatever the fuck you want. But like to tell me that I've got to be able to piss while a bunch of fucking people are like staring at my dick and yelling at me on command, shit's not going to fucking work. And I'm not the only one who has a problem with that. And it's fucking stupid. And there's other ways to fucking figure out whether you've done drugs. Well, actually the dude in Buffalo, at least the probation officer in Buffalo was kind of like, he's like, if I really thought that this was a problem, they have this patch that they can put on your arm, and then you have to leave this patch on for a few days, and then you have to go back and they'll take the patch off, and then they can test the patch to see if you did anything. So he's like, if I have to use the patch on you, I'll do that. But he's like, so basically what he did, he told me to go home and that he was going to come over the next day, which he did. And I still couldn't piss, which is fucking hilarious. But then he came over the next day and he basically like, as long as I left the bathroom door open, he didn't stand there and hover over me. He just stood out in the next room waiting for me to pee. And then I hand him the thing and he tests it right there. And he's like, yeah, we're good. He's like, I know you don't. As soon as he knew I would, he's like, you're not somebody I'm going to be worried about. Is kind of the way he acted. But the room at that place was fucking insane. I'm like, if I have to come to this fucking room to pee on a schedule, I'm going to be fucking having a nervous breakdown to anytime I have to go into that place. Because that was like straight up iRobot. It was like from a fucking science fiction movie, dog. It was so crazy. I'm picturing it right now, and I don't even know how to describe how fucked up that place was. Now, this one in Houston that I go to down there, they did it different. When you go into the bathroom, it looks like a normal bathroom. But there's a wall, and it's a mirror. But it's a two-way glass, like, so the dude is standing on the other side of the mirror, and you're going to pee in the toilet. You're going to pee in the cup right there, and they're going to watch you. But when you look over, you don't see a dude staring at your dick. You see a mirror. And I'm like, that actually fucking worked because I didn't have a problem with that place. It felt like a regular bathroom. You can mentally pretend that the guy's not there, even though he's right there looking at you like, nice cock you got there, friend. Like, you can do your thing without knowing that someone's fucking gawking at you while you're filling the cup. So every time I've ever gone there to the one in Houston, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, they should all be like that. But it looks like a normal bathroom, mirror. They're looking at you, but all you see is the mirror. But you know they're there. But even so, like, just to expedite the whole thing, I'm going to have to wake up tomorrow, jump right in the fucking car and drive down there without taking a pee, drink a bunch of water so that I'm like this when I get there and just ride it out until I have to go do this. And then I'm going to have to talk to somebody, meet with somebody and all this other shit. Cause this wasn't supposed to happen, to be honest. They told me that I was going to be put on this list where I don't have to deal with them anymore. So this might be the last time I have to deal with them. I don't know. I'm just going to hope for the best. But this is really starting to, I don't know. I'm just going to hope for the best because I've paid my fucking dues for this one. And I should be allowed to live my fucking life at this point. You know, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. The judge probably wouldn't see it that way, but we're going to have to disagree. And getting back to the jobs, we're getting back to the job stuff here. Um, like I said, jobs I could get easily, even today. These jobs that used to get 20 to 50 resumes, now they're being bombarded with 2 to 3,000 resumes. And why? There's three reasons. The reason why they were getting 20 to 50 resumes before is because they need somebody to come into the office. So the talent pool is restricted to that geographic region, and it's a specialized job. So there aren't going to be that many UX designers in that area that are going to live close enough to the office to be able to commute to the job all day. Granted, they're going to have you drive into the office to sit there and be on Zoom meetings all day and turn around and go home, but that's what they were looking for. Then everybody went remote. There are some jobs that can't be remote. I mean, I can't go to the bakery remote. If I could figure it out, but here, I'll just bake those cookies at home and I'll have someone courier them over for you. But no, it doesn't work like that. But for UX design, yes, I can work from home. But now that you can work from home, they're getting job applications from around the world, not even just the United States, but the world. And somebody in fucking Bangladesh can do the job for like Sally. What does Sally Fields say? It only takes $2 a day to feed a starving kid in Africa or whatever. Like they're going to work for like $5 a day in some of these countries, and the companies are going to be like, "Well, how about that?" So you're competing now against the whole world for every job opening, not just your region, but the fucking world. At the bare minimum, you're competing against everybody else in the United States that has the ability to do what you do, not just the people that live within an hour's drive of where you are. Now you're competing against everybody in the whole country. So that's how they went from 20 to 50 resumes to 2 to 3,000. Plus, the economy has been gutted. So pretty much 70% of the people lost their fucking jobs, and they're all looking for a job together at the same time. So not only are there no more localized jobs where you could just get a job close to home and go do that, now they're all remote jobs. And everybody just lost their job. So now you're competing against the whole country to begin with, but the whole country lost their fucking job. So that's another reason why it went from 20 to 50 resumes for a job to 2 to 3,000 resumes for a job. And now because of that and the technology, you can apply to jobs very quickly now. LinkedIn, Indeed, there's a bunch of websites out there where you're just like click, click, and you can apply. So someone could, you got people working at McDonald's who maybe have McDonald's, Fry Cook, and Burger King Burger Flipper on their resume, and they're applying for every fucking job just to see what the fuck happens. So that's saturating because all you got to do is click the button, apply, boom, done. I could apply to 50 jobs in an hour on some of these websites, but so can everybody else. So that's part of the reason why they used to get 20 to 50 resumes for a job, and now they get 2 to 3,000. There's three reasons. And now this isn't part of the reason why they get so many resumes, but the reason why your resume is going into a fucking black hole is all three of these reasons are the reason for the black hole. Plus the fact that a human being is no longer looking at your fucking resume ever again. When you send your resume to one of these companies for these three reasons that they've gone from getting 20 to 50 resumes for a job opening to between 2 and 3,000, they have to use an AI bot to scan all the resumes and all the cover letters and all the shit to try and automatically figure out who the best candidate is. And so you are you would have a better chance winning the fucking Powerball right now. I would have a better chance of winning $6 billion in the fucking Powerball lottery right now than finding a job, because that's what it is. You send a resume into a black hole, it disappears. They're getting 2 to 3,000 resumes within. I looked on LinkedIn. Okay, so some of these jobs, I had a filter that would show me the newest ones, show me ones that are less than an hour old, and I could look and it would say only 6 applicants. I could hit the refresh button, only 115 applicants, and like the time it took to refresh the fucking browser window, it could go from 5 applicants to over 100 in one push of the refresh button on. It's like being an eBay sniper. When you used to like bid on eBay, but you would wait and you would watch that countdown timer and you've got that one bid because you're watching yourself get outbid, but you've got a bid that you think's going to win, but you got to wait until it gets to like 3, 2, 1. Do it now. And you got to try to make sure that your bid hit right when that timer hit 0, because that's the only way you can win some of those auctions. It's kind of like that. You have to be like that with resumes now. Like the job is available. In the time it took me to smack my hand on the table, they've got 300 resumes already. Like in less than a second, they'll get 500 resumes for that job opening. The second it appears, within 1 second of a job showing up on some of these job boards, they'll have 500 resumes. They'll have 50 resumes in 1 second. 1 second, they'll get 50 resumes. Imagine how many they get in 5 minutes. So you can't compete with that shit. And like I said, your resume is being read by a robot. Everything you submit to the company is being read by a machine. A human being's never even going to fucking see it. 3,000 resumes, human being's going to see maybe 5. So you've got a 5 in 3,000 chance of a human being seeing your resume in the first place. And then out of those 5, what? So now recruiters, that was my next thing I was going to talk about, is the recruiters, the job recruiters. That's your next that's your next possible path to finding success. Recruiters, they reach out to me all the time, 20, 30 times a week. I unsubscribe from them. I tell them to leave me the fuck alone. The ones that are from India, the ones with the names like Ranjit and Shwamahari and all that bullshit, fuck them. I don't want to talk to any of them because they're scam artists. All of them. They're fucking useless. If I actually did talk to one on the phone, I can't understand what the fuck they're saying, so I don't answer the phone when they call. I only communicate via email because I can at least read what they're saying and understand the words. But when they talk to me, they go, don't tell me that story, ding dong dong dong, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you just said, and I'm not going to ask you to repeat yourself 6 fucking times because you're working in some fucking scam center in India. Like, fuck off. I don't want to talk to you people. So most of the tech recruiters are from India now. The whole thing is just a big scam operation. And this popped out of the fucking wood. This has been slowly happening for years and years, but it's completely taken over the industry. And the only reason it exists is to get H-1B visa workers into America from India. So when they're calling an American like me to get my resume, they're taking my resume and they're taking my name off of it. They're copying and pasting all the text and putting Shwami Hara Ranjit, whatever the fuck his name is, on my resume so that they can get some Indian a job here with my resume. That's what they're doing. And they have no scruples. They're doing it from another country. They don't give a fuck about following laws or being anything. What's the word? Not morals, but ethics. They don't have any ethics to follow with this shit. But then I get an American recruiter that reaches out to me that I can, someone who speaks English, is from America, et cetera, et cetera. We might have a conversation, and so on and so forth. But those, they just ghost. 99.9% of the time I'll talk to a recruiter, never hear from them again. Part of it's because they look you up on Google, and they all you got to do is one Google search on me and game over. So this is what I'm dealing with now. Like, I'm such a fucking piece of shit because I posted some shitty things on Twitter that I'm never supposed to have a job again, and I'm supposed to suffer for the rest of my life and never be able to take care of myself or my kids ever again, because I deserve to be a worthless sack of shit for the rest of my life. And that's what a lot of people believe. And that's what a lot of people leave in the comments on this channel. And, that's what a lot of people have told me to my face. And you're all going to go choke on a fucking dick someday, because I'm going to show you that I will. I've already come a long way since the day I became homeless, and I'm only going up from here. So you're going to be full of hatred when you see how successful I'm going to be. I'm actually going to be a lot more successful than I ever was before all this shit happened. And that's really going to grind your gears. All you people that watched the channel because you were hoping some guy wound up homeless, you all came back because you wanted to see if I was living under the bridge sucking dick for crack. But it didn't work out that way. And that's why a lot of people were like, yeah, I'm not watching that anymore. It's the same people that go see auto races to see people crash. People don't go to NASCAR races to watch people drive around in a fucking circle all day. They go to NASCAR races because they want to see someone blow up in a car. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. If they made NASCAR safe, nobody would go. Nobody give a fuck about it. Look at Formula One. Nobody gives a shit about Formula One anymore. Not like they used to, because it's boring now. They turned Formula One into it's like watching golf, and people aren't really into it anymore. I mean, yeah, when you look at the race, the stands have people in them, but it's all just a bunch of rich people drinking champagne and looking at the fancy race cars. But it's back in the day, Ayrton Senna was the end of Formula One. When Ayrton Senna died, that was the end of Formula One, as far as I'm concerned. You watch Ayrton Senna, you watch those races, and you watch the races of today. It's not even the same fucking sport. So, but I'm trying to stay back on track here. But so, like the black hole of your resume. It's not just me. It's not just me. Like, I have extra special difficulty because of my situation right now in this terrible economy. I have some general stats, not just from my job, but just in general. The average job opening right now gets 242 applications, which is nearly triple from 2017. Giving the typical applicant just a 0.4 chance of landing the job. And it's worse. The bigger the company, the worse it gets. And like I said, the bigger companies, 2,000 resumes, 5,000 resumes for a job. 75% of all job applications receive zero response. And by zero response, not even the letter, the shitty automatically generated letter that says you're worthless, we don't want anything to do with you, but we'll keep your resume on file. That corporate speak email that you get that was automatically sent to you, that no human being had any idea you ever applied for the job. You just got some letter back. So 75% of applications receive no response at all. Many are auto-rejected by the applicant training systems, which is the AI system. It's called ATS. All right, I said training. I meant applicant tracking systems. ATS. It's AI for resume hunting. It's an AI tool that companies use to pick out resumes from a pile for a job lead so they don't have to dig through them themselves. And when you got 2 to 5,000 applicants for a job, you need something to screen them. I would use a bot at that point. So, just because I got the rejection email, I can assume that any job I've not landed, there's hundreds of other people who were told no as well, not just me. Ghosting is rampant, more rampant than it's ever been. 61% of candidates get ghosted after an interview. You get an interview with a human being, 61% of the time you're ghosted. That's more than half. Like, you get no response. No, like, you don't even get an email saying, sorry, but we went with someone else. You just ghosted. I mean, it's like, it's the dating game and the job, trying to find a job and trying to find a girlfriend are like basically the same thing. It's the same exact behavior. I've been saying this since I was like 25 years old, and now I'm 50. But I've been saying all along that looking for a job is the same thing as looking for a girl. Processes drag on, sometimes 2 months. A lot of companies post fake ghost jobs. Or an AI filter there are a lot of candidates who get disqualified by a bot because the keywords are not an exact match with the job description in their resume. So, and Muskegee land here says, you forgot about age discrimination. I'm 58. These people would throw me under a bridge. Yeah, of course. In my line of work, I was the old guy at the club when I turned 30. Like 30, I was getting thrown under the bus. I remember the job. I was working, Andy Jassy, the CEO of Amazon, I used to work for his sister. And that was my first age discrimination event in my career. I was a little over 30. I was right around, it was in the low 30s, 31 maybe. I don't remember exactly. It was the year my son, 2009. Hold on. I was 34. And yeah, I was like the old guy at the club. It was like being a 75-year-old guy hanging out at the fucking nightclub on a Friday night trying to mac on 20-year-old girls. Like, everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck are you still doing? You washed up old turd. What are you doing here? And I've been dealing with age discrimination since I was 30 in the software business. In fact, most of the jobs that I've had are with companies where I'm surrounded by people that are more or less my age or older. There's a separation. Like, companies are either old or young in this business. And I've experienced this many times. You go into Google. I mean, some of the bigger companies are a little more diverse now with regard to age separation. But if it's like a hip new startup, like a startup-y Google kind of company, it's all going to be 24 and below, 25 and younger. The CEO will be some 26-year-old douchebag, like Mark Zuckerberg kind of guy, just out of fucking college, and daddy fucking funded his startup or whatever. It's just going to be some scumbag, and it's all going to be a bunch of young kids riding around the fucking office on fucking scooters and hanging out on beanbag chairs all day and playing fucking, it's going to sound and look like Chuck E. Cheese when you walk in. There's going to be a bunch of fucking video games everywhere and foosball tables and air hockey. I worked at this fucking places, so I know what I'm talking about. In fact, if I walked into a place and I saw a bunch of video games and air hockey and all this other bullshit, I'd fucking leave, because I know what I'm going to be getting into. All that shit is there because you're going to be working 100 hours a week, and they don't want you to ever go home. And they want to try to make it seem like it's a fun place to work, but you're basically working in a fucking sweatshop disguised as a fucking Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's arcade. But it's all going to be 25 and below. If you're 30 years old, they won't even give you the time of day. They'll put questions on the fucking job application process to force you to disclose your age. Like, what year did you earn your degree? I earned my degree in 1996. So I've been working as a big boy in big boy jobs doing actual shit all these years. Sorry, sorry, my fucking degree happened so long ago that it's no longer even relevant. But that's how they figure out how old you are. And that's like, oh, he went to school in 1996. No. But then you go to other companies where the CEO might be in his 50s and the leaders of the teams are 40s, mature. You will have some younger kids. You'll have the 20 to 25-year-old programmers. You'll see a lot of people I will walk into a place at 45 years old and I can read the room and I'm like, if I see a bunch of people that are my age or older than me or a mix like that, I feel pretty good about it. But if I walk into a tech company and it's just a bunch of fucking young kids playing video games and shit, forget it. Like, I already know it's a waste of my time because the age discrimination alone is going to have me thrown out the door. And this was back when my career was solid. Like, I'm just saying that every company I've actually worked at and had a foothold at and grew at, and where I was surrounded by peers, like people my age don't hire the young kids because you're a bunch of fucking retards and you don't have the experience yet. And then these fucking kids, they get together and they have their companies and they don't want to hire anybody old because they're fucking old. And it's like, yeah, it's a culture clash. But I've seen it. I've seen it both ways. It was very, very prevalent at these douchebag hipster startups like Instagram and Google in its early days, and just different companies. These social media companies were nothing but little kids running these from the CEO down until they grew up and their investors told them they had to get some people with experience in the door. And then all the little kids got mad because there's a bunch of old people coming to work. What's this fucking 30-year-old ancient coming in for? Fuck you, kid. I'll fucking run circles around any of these kids at their own fucking job. 30 years of experience. It's like Aaron Rodgers playing for the Steelers. He ain't doing too bad. He didn't do too bad. Old washed up old quarterbacks still fucking throw the ball down the field. Tom Brady could go win a Super Bowl tomorrow. He could go win the Super Bowl this weekend. Is it this sports ball? Is that this weekend? The fucking Super Bowl, is that this weekend? I don't even give a fuck about it. But if Tom Brady could just go be in the Super Bowl this weekend and win it, and he's older than all these fucking kids. Like, don't fucking diss your elders, kids, because we know some shit. In fact, if it wasn't for Generation X, none of you fucking dumbass kids would have iPhones and the internet, and all the stupid shit that you do now comes from us, comes from from these old bastards. We're the ones that gave that shit to you. So fucking remember that. So anyway, AI, you're going to send your fucking, I've sent 600 resumes out. I bet like maybe 20 of them were seen by a human being. So practical tips. I'm asking AI for practical tips. Since my resume is being read by AI and not a human being, I may as well ask the robot what to do. And so here's the first suggestion that Grok came up with, and that is optimize your resume for ATS. Don't fight it, feed it. Tailor every resume. Mirror exact keywords, phrases from the job descriptions, skills, tools, responsibilities naturally in your experience, and a dedicated skills section. Use simple formatting, standard headlines, so on and so forth. No tables, graphics, columns, images. Everything's got to be like, it's all text only now. So my resume has a little bit of graphic design to it because that used to work for me, but now it actually causes me to get rejected because the text is not robot friendly. It's a PDF document with nice looking like when people see my resume, they're like, damn, that's really nice, Adam. But when a robot sees my resume, it's all fucked up because the text doesn't read like a straight up text file in terms of how a robot reads it. And so you're basically being told that in order to get a chance that a human being might see your resume, you have to redo your resume every time you apply for a job and make your resume exactly match the job description. And so now I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to spend half a fucking hour to an hour redoing my resume every time I apply for a job just so I can throw it into a black hole where a robot's going to reject it in 0.2 milliseconds after it receives the resume. It's not worth my fucking time. It's not worth my fucking time to do that. It's not worth spending half an hour to tailor your fucking resume to every single job you apply to and completely redo your resume every time you apply for a job just to make sure that the robot might give you a chance. The robot's going to reject it in less than 1 second. What the fuck? And each job's getting 3,000 to 5,000 applicants. 200 maybe on a good day. I don't have time to put that many eggs in a basket where someone's just going to take the basket and throw it against the wall and smash all the eggs. Like, what the fuck are we? That's like going to the grocery store, buying the big carton of eggs, the 24 pack of eggs, going out in the parking lot and going bam on the fucking ground and just smashing them all and walking away. What the fuck did you do that for? Why would you bother? Why would you bother doing that? Like, it's not even like you just spent all this money on eggs, a basket of eggs, put all your eggs in that basket. You go out in the parking lot, smash it on the ground, and go home. You just spent, I mean, eggs were that could have been, not that long ago, that would have been $100 worth of eggs. Boom, smash it on the ground, walk away. That's what you're doing if you're going to put all your eggs into a resume that you spent an hour perfecting it so that it would be perfect for this job. And then you hit send, rejected. You hit the send button and the fucking email already comes back saying you didn't get the job. Or you got put in that queue for when the email goes out on Friday morning to all the rejects. And it happened in less than 1 second for a resume you spent an hour trying to make perfect. Fuck that shit. No, I won't. I won't do it. And it's getting even more fucking humiliating than that. And by rejected, you're not really getting rejected, but what these bots do is they rank the resumes. So they'll just put them in an order of when a human being goes to look at it, what the bot put together. They're just going to see all the resumes. The ones that the bot thought was the best will be at the top, and it's just going to go down from there. You might, but it's like, you ever play Xbox Live and a game where you can have a high score and you get a really high score, right? Like, oh my God, that's the best I've ever done at Angry Birds, right? And then you go and you look and you're like 2,976,422nd place for your high score. But there's 2,375,000 people who got a higher score than you. Right. And so you're like, fuck. And so you play some more. And maybe you get really, really, really fucking good. And then your high score, when it shows you where you rank, now you're 720,422nd place. So now you're in the top 1 million. That's basically that's the same game you're playing with your fucking resume now. Oh, I made it to 1,222nd place on the list. So if 1,221 people get rejected, I'm next. I'm next for the interview. I mean, fucking Bonnie Blue couldn't even fuck that many guys in a day. Like, you'd have a better chance banging Bonnie Blue if you showed up to be 970 seconds in her 1,000-guy-a-day gangbang than you would have getting a fucking job interview at one of these companies when you're in 1,922nd place on the list that the AI bot put together. So 75% of the resumes get rejected or pushed so far down the list that nobody will ever see them. 71 to 83% of companies right now use the bots to screen you. Only 2 to 3% of job applications online even lead to an interview. It's actually, it could even be as low as 0.1% to 2%. Recruiters are flooded. They get 250 or more. There's a recruiter or two that I follow on LinkedIn that I've talked to one-on-one personally, and it seemed like we may have been able to but she'll post a job on LinkedIn if I happen to see a post of hers. And in the comments, there'll be 150 fucking comments on her post. Within an hour after she posts it, 150 people have already sent her the resume. And this is her posting on her LinkedIn feed saying, I'm looking for someone who does this, that, UX based out of Atlanta, fully remote or whatever. And then boom, I'll hit the comment button and I'll see 150 fucking comments. I just sent you my resume. Call me. You'd have a better chance if you're a fucking simp hitting on a fucking girl in a thong bikini in a YouTube video, competing against 500 other simps in the comments to get a fucking phone call or a DM from the chick. Like, that's basically the same thing you're doing if you respond to one of these recruiters on LinkedIn when you see that 200 people already fucking responded. You'd have a better chance of getting a date with the thong bikini girl in the YouTube video simping in her fucking comment section than you would getting a job from that fucking recruiter. And so, once again, the black hole. How much can I even talk about this? Even if a human being sees the resume, it takes them 5 to 10 seconds before they decide whether to keep it or toss it. And I can speak from experience. I can tell, I can spend less than 10 seconds on a resume. If it's in the line, if it's a job I would be hiring for, I would know within 10 seconds just from the resume. If the resume gets past that, their portfolio is going to be the next thing that makes or breaks them. And for me, I don't need to see the portfolio itself, doesn't need to be refined. I'm looking at the work that's in the portfolio, because I also know that, sometimes the shoemaker has a shitty pair of shoes for themselves because they're too busy making shoes for everybody else. So I take that into consideration if I'm looking at a designer's portfolio. The portfolio itself can have a shitty design. I've seen some really bad ones, but the work in it was so good that I called the person in, and sometimes they get hired. Because, I can see that. Not everybody agrees with me on that as a hiring manager. Some people are a bunch of snobby dickheads, and they feel like if the person didn't take the time to build an award-winning website for themselves, they're not worth calling. I don't agree with that. I'm looking at the actual work that they're showing me. I don't give a fuck about whether their website is. If they have a good website and they put the time in to make a good one, that does help. But it's not a deal breaker for me. So, and it's gotten even more humiliating. I had to go on a fucking job interview with an AI bot. It wasn't even a human being. I had to get on a fucking interview with a goddamn bot and answer a bunch of questions to a fucking robot and talk back and forth to a fucking robot. And the only reason I decided to do it and not walk away was because I was homeless living in Jamestown, New York, and I had social services up my ass telling me that I had to apply to so many jobs every week and had to prove it. And I had the fucking probation officers up my ass telling me I had to go find a job or I'd go back to prison. So I had to document. So fine, a fucking robot wants to do a job interview. Fine, I'll go do a fucking robot job interview. But it was humiliating. And I guarantee you right now that if a company reached out to me right now today and said, we have a job, you want to have an interview with our bot? I'd be like, go eat a dick. Tell the bot to go suck a dick. Go suck a robot cock, because I'm not doing it. You want to talk? You want to get a human being on a Zoom call or something like that? Or I'll even wear a fucking suit and I'll go down there and be all professional and shit. But I'm not doing a fucking interview with a fucking robot. Go fuck off with your bad self, because I'm not doing that. Not that I don't have to, so I won't. I did it for a numbers game so I could go into social services. Look, I had a job interview. And that's what I did. I had to go on a fucking job interview where it was a video interview. It was with Target. That's what they do. You get a fucking link and they show you a question, and then you have to turn on your video camera and talk into the camera like there's a person there, but there's not. And you have to do a video interview. And then somebody looks at the fucking videos, I guess, or a bot looks at the thing. A robot can get the transcript of your fucking of your video chat. About 15 minutes after I post the live stream, there will be a YouTube generated transcript of everything I said. Right, and that's generated by a robot. You don't need this. They can get your text from your speech and match it up with their keywords and shit. Are you a good ass kissing corporate employee or what? So I had to do that. I had to go on a video virtual interview. If a company told me tomorrow to do that, I'd be like, you can virtually go fuck yourself. Here, I'll even send you the video clip if you need that. I'll just go to tonight's live stream, take the little clip, fuck you, package it up and send it off. There's your video interview, your virtual video interview. Didn't take me that long, did it? Huh? So yeah, if you can't fucking send a human being to the job interview, then fuck you. Like, I don't want to work for you. If, when you're desperate, or when you've got, it wasn't desperation. It was the fact that I was playing a numbers game, and I had to do anything that was handed to me so that I could go into social services and be like, look, I did a job interview. Look, everybody, I'm looking for a job. I'm being a good boy. I'm doing what I'm told. But now that I have choices, there's my choice. That's right there. Right there. You see it? That's the choice I'll make in that situation. I'm not going to fucking be less than a human being. And if somebody can't talk to me one-on-one, then you're not worth it. You're not worth the time of day. That's just going to tell you. But here's another interesting stat. This is kind of this goes right along with what I'm saying is, how do I word this? Like, I've got a list of the companies that do the virtual chatbot interviews and video interviews where there's no human being for your job interview. 40% of some of these companies now are using chatbots for a job interview. And 87 to 93% of large companies now are planning on integrating AI into the interview process, if they haven't already. Big names like Unilever, Hilton, McDonald's, McKinsey, they're all experimenting with AI job interviews. And they claim that it's fairer. It's more fair. But here's an irony. There are studies out there that show that candidates picked by AI bots have higher job offer acceptance rates. That means when they get the job offer, they're much more likely to say yes. And I'm like, that doesn't even, but then if you think about it, the fact that they made you interview with an AI bot means that anybody with a spine or a backbone or self-respect would have said, fuck you, and left by now and did not do the AI interview. Like me, I won't do it. So therefore, the cuckold, the fucking weak-minded idiot that decided to go along with the AI bot interview are probably going to say yes when they get the job offer, because they have no self-respect in the first place, and they're just going to say yes to anything that comes along. And so that makes total sense to me that more companies that use AI bots for the interview process get more candidates to say yes to the offer. Well, duh, because you weeded out anybody who had self-respect. And you probably weeded out the most competent people in the process. So you're left with a bunch of fucking nincompoops who are desperate for a job who will say yes to anything. They're the same people that fucking wore the mask on their face and followed the arrows on the grocery store floor that told you you can only walk this way down this aisle and that way down that aisle. And, those are the people that you hired. Good fucking luck. Good, let's see how long your company lasts with those people on board. We'll see how much shit you actually get done in a day. I have a feeling I have a feeling there's gonna be some companies going under due to their AI hiring choices. But anyway, I don't. We're like I'm. All I've been doing is bitch, 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 bitch. But I may have to continue this sometime because I don't want to go too much past 3 hours. But you got to buy. How do you get around the black hole? You got to fly. How do spaceships keep from getting sucked into the black hole? Right. You got to stay. First of all, you got to stay the fuck away from it. You get too close to the black hole, you're done. You're getting sucked in. Your warp drive isn't going to be able to push you out. Once you break that, once you get a certain distance away, game over. You're done. You're in the black hole. So how do you bypass the black hole? How do you fly? How do you get around the black hole and actually get to where the job is? And really what it boils down to is your network. Right now, your network and your personal network of friends, and this is why I held off of reading your comment, Glenn, but I was getting around to it. I was watching you comment, Glenn Beedshaw 727, because I knew I was going to get to that point. Luckily for me, I'm a tradesman and I don't need a reputation or I don't need a resume. I operate on my reputation and I'm doing just fine right there. You have a network of people who know who you are. They know what you do. They know what you're capable of. They know your personality, all that kind of stuff. That's the economy that we live in now. Employment really operates on contracts as in who you know and who will give you the opportunity. That's once again. I remember in 1982 when I was a youngster, unemployment was at like 30% here in Canada and people were lined up for $5 an hour jobs. I mean, there was like 100 folks lined up. Yeah, that's happening now. My buddy, my best friend here, he was a restaurant manager and he said when Joe Biden pulled the plug on all the oil workers in Alaska, or it wasn't Joe Biden because he wasn't living there at the time. Where the fuck was he? Or who was president? Whichever president fucked everything up back when he was living in Alaska. They pulled all the oil workers off the pipeline. All these oil workers who were used to making $150 an hour were trying to get $10 an hour restaurant jobs. But he was getting hounded. He was getting bombarded with job applications in the hundreds from laid off oil pipeline workers who couldn't fucking make a living or pay for their bills at all. It says, I finally got a job working at a Honda dealership as a lot guy because I have a mechanical background, but I got that job because I went straight into the dealership and asked them if they were hiring. Once again, your personal network. Certain jobs I can't just walk into an office building and say, you guys want to hire me? Like, it don't work like that in my line of work, but most people in my line of work will hire their friends. So if you've got friends from former jobs, see, the problem is I worked with my last job that I had longevity at, they turned into a bunch of fucking douchebags during the COVID scam. And I don't like any of them. I don't want to talk to any of them. I wouldn't want to work with them. I mean, these are the people that were sitting at home alone, working remotely, showing up to the Zoom meetings with a COVID mask on their face because they loved it so much. These are the people that would hold their vaccine cards up to the camera for the Zoom meeting for everybody to see. And they're the ones that fired me because I had a remote job and I wouldn't take a fucking COVID shot. And they fired me for that. So, no, I don't have a good professional network. I'm not one of them. I don't fit into that fucking bullshit tech culture where it's just a bunch of fucking blue-haired retards running around, because that's what's taken over that whole genre of work. I'll keep my hair gray. I'm not going to make it blue. I'm not going to cut my dick off and go running around in a dress either. So that's pretty much what you got to do. I don't have pronouns on my fucking profiles. Mister, Mister. I'm a guy. I like chicks. I like good looking women. I'm one of those. I'm one of those old school motherfuckers. Sorry. I shouldn't even apologize for it, but I did. Um, let's see. Anyway, your personal network can go far. I could probably leverage LinkedIn a little bit better. There was a guy I used to work with on LinkedIn. He posted a LinkedIn post saying they were looking for some WordPress people to help out. And I reached out to him and I never heard back. And I'm like, I always have it in the back of my head. Oh, I guess we can't be cool anymore because I went to prison or whatever. And he must have Googled me or whatever. Sometimes people are just fucking busy. I'm telling you, like 6 months later, I get a message from him on LinkedIn. He's like, holy shit, Adam, it's good to hear from you. I haven't talked to you in years. You were fucking great to work with. I would love to work with you sometime. And he was like, but like I just noticed this message today, like 6 months after I sent it. And so I need to get off my ass and be like, follow up with these people, right? It's my network. It's people that I used to get. I mean, this guy and we used to get along great. We used to joke around. We had a good time. And we also worked very well together. Like he was good at his part. I was good at my part. You put us together on a project and it's going to actually come out really good. And so, so there are people like that. There's people like that know I went to prison and think it's all bullshit. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm coming out of a little bit of a hermit shell, especially the last few weeks. I mean, I've been really feeling like I'm literally a turtle taking my fucking head out of the shell and looking around to see what's going on because I just didn't want to come out for a while. And that was after I moved into this place, and it was the first time I had peace and quiet and privacy in a long time. And I just decided that I was going to disappear for a while and only come outside when I have to. And I would say, like, just in the last, I would say right around Thanksgiving time is when I started to kind of look around. Like, I started to kind of poke my head out of the shell. And right around the middle of November, but now it's like really hitting me. Like, I really want to start being more social. Like I was at the freaking gym last night talking to a bunch of people. The spin class instructor, I've only met her twice, but she's really cool. I started talking to her, and she was talking about she has knee pain. And I'm watching her teach the class, and I'm like, your seat's way too low. So after class, I was like, I know that she knows what she's doing and she's not an idiot. But I was like, I just said, hey, I'm like, I've been watching you, because you are the instructor, not because I'm a fucking creep, but your seat position on your bike looks like it's too low. I would say bump it up like at least an inch, maybe two. I would say bump it up to where it feels too tall and then lower it down just a little bit. I'm like, you'll blow out your knees. You can blow out your knees real fast if your seat's too low on your bicycle. I've done it before. And I told her about, well, I did go on a 400-mile bike race with my seat too low because I just built the bike the weekend before. But, I was just like, I wasn't like flirting, but I was being social and just like, I'm trying to like, at least, talk to people and just kind of like, because that's not natural for me. I'm a fucking hermit. I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people. So, but I know I can make myself do the things I don't want to do because I know that's how you make friends and that's how things happen in the world. But, um, like it's your personal network. The whole point about this is, the whole point of this is, the online method of job hunting has become a fucking worthless black hole. That's part of the reason why I've applied to 600 jobs and didn't find shit. And part of the reason why the number is so high is because when I was so in Jamestown, when I was homeless and social services was up my ass to apply to so many jobs every week and to go on so many interviews, and they were counting it by the hours. They're like, they didn't care how many I applied to. They said I had to spend 20 hours a week looking for a job. And so I would go in with a list of 75 fucking companies that I sent a resume to in just a week. And they would be like, well, did you spend 20 hours? And I'd be like, yeah, I did. Maybe, I mean, it would be like maybe 30 jobs. I don't know. I'm over 600 now. When I came to Houston, I curbed that way back. So most of the 600 happened in Jamestown. And I was doing it, it was a numbers game for me. I didn't want to spend 20 fucking hours when I had other things that were making my life move forward. And believe me, I was looking for a job. I was looking for a job anywhere I could find one. Temp agencies and everything else under the sun. But the whole point is your personal network will get you a lot farther. Glenn, he's dropping it all in the comments here. The people like my biggest problem is a lot of my personal network is gone because I went to fucking prison and I'm a leper. Nobody wants to touch a leper anymore. And the other part is because a lot of them became a bunch of liberal douchebags. And during the COVID scam, I cut communication off with most of them. But I do have a network. I have professional references to this day that know I went to prison and would still back me up if they get a call asking for a good reference. So I do have them. But your professional network goes so much farther. Here I'm on YouTube, right? And I'm not kidding when I tell you that all the work that I'm doing now is a direct result of doing these YouTube videos and people finding out, people wanting to work with me because I'm abrasive and confident and don't give a fuck. And they believe, that I was treated wrong or whatever. And they can see that I'm competent or whatever. But like me being me and not giving a shit has actually led to me getting work and for me to get opportunities, and things are coming my way because I don't kiss ass and get on my hands and knees and grovel and beg for forgiveness and all that shit. Like, and because I stood up and didn't take the shot, and all the things that I've done that were bold have actually resulted in better results than me just throwing a bunch of fucking resumes into a black hole. And so, yeah, I'm irritated. I got to go down to Houston tomorrow. Hopefully I'm just there and back. The biggest thing I'm hoping not to get harassed about is I've got a new probation officer. So I'm hoping I don't get harassed about, why do you only work at the bakery 2 days a week? Cause I get like $10 an hour for that when I could make a hell of a lot more sitting at home doing my real work. And I've got a client right now who wants me to work 30 hours a week. That's the required number of hours. So I don't have to work at the bakery if I don't want to. But I'm also not just gonna I don't just jump into the fucking pool without dipping my toe in the water first. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you find a hot spring somewhere. You just gonna jump into the hot spring without dipping your foot in the water, touching it with your hand first? You're just going to jump in because that water might be hot enough to boil you alive and take your skin off your bones. That might be like some Yellowstone Park shit, especially if it's out in nature. You might need to let that cool off a minute before you go take a bath. So, it's the same thing with, some of these situations here. I had a list of things I had to do today. A couple of them didn't get done. We're here. We're doing this. That got done. And now we're at like 10 after 3. What else do I want to talk about? Quality over quantity. when I do apply for a job, when I do throw my resume into a black hole right now, there's a few things that I do. It's only going to be a job that I would actually like. It's only I will only send my resume now to a job if A, I think there's a chance I could get in without a background check, or if they do a background check, they would be a human being that might listen to me and not just automatically reject me. So it's basically like a startup or a small company. Number two, it's going to have to be a job I would actually want. I'm not just going to apply to any old piece of shit job for no reason. Three, like the last interview I went on, it's because a recruiter reached out to me and he wasn't from India. And so I said, okay, I'll give him a chance. Um, Quantity or quality over quantity might lead somewhere. Um, so let's see. Things you can do, if I spent more time on a portfolio, building a better website for myself, there's a bunch of different things that I could do that would improve the chances, but it's all about building a network. I've got clients now that will recommend me to other people and I will get more clients from that. I've got friends who have recommended me to other friends. There's all kinds of stuff that just like boggles my mind, and I'm kind of burned out just in general, but I'm coming back. My energy is coming back, and that's the gym is helping with that. Um So the other things I was going to talk about today were like how can you do a job search and actually track what you're doing? I was going to talk about maybe doing a Trello board live and teach you how to build one, a Kanban board. I was going to talk about Glassdoor a little bit, but we're down to one viewer. We're at 3 hours, 11 minutes. And I get it. It's a long ride. So I don't expect everybody to be here still. But I think maybe I'll just take some of that stuff and we'll do another, instead of like throwing your resume in a black hole, I'll just do a companion live stream that goes with this. Could be next week, it could be a few weeks from now, where I'll say, okay, the last time we talked about this, all I did was bitch, 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 bitch. So now let's talk about what you can do, and like let's turn it the other direction and talk about like what you can actually do. And then I can just say, hey, go back to the one with the black hole if you want to see me bitch for an hour about it. And then here we're going to talk about solutions. So I don't know, I'll figure out how to do that, but something might happen between now and the end of the week before I do the next show announcement for next week. And I like usually something happens and it gives me the next topic for the next live stream to talk of what to talk about. I have some thoughts on it, but I'm gonna say like probably Friday I'll know. And whenever I know, I'll generate a thumbnail image and a title, and then you'll see the announcement show up on the page. But the members only ones, I've scheduled those for the next few weeks, so they're in the queue. You can bookmark those if you can see them on my channel, and you can you can basically bookmark it so you get get your warning or your notifications or whatever, however that works. I don't know. And but I'm hungry and I got to do some more work tonight. I got a little pet project I'm trying to work on. I don't even know. I think I'll work on it. Once I start working on it, I'll be into it. But I got to eat something, get a little hungry. And I think that's about it for today. We're at the 3 hour mark. I always say it's 2 hours, but we always go three. And that's cool. And I'm glad you all showed up. I'm glad you all gave me some stuff to talk about, some little side trips, some adding. I like doing this live because then we can all, all you people get to have a say in what we talk about here. And so that's cool. You get to ask questions and I don't know, we're doing it live. And so that's fun. I like it. Um, but I am going to try and do, if I just go to the park and take a phone and a selfie stick and do a little something something this week, it'll be like I'm trying to cap it at 20 minutes. So I got to think about like what do I want to talk about when I sit on the bench. Um But that's what I'm going to do this week. I'll think about that. If the weather's good on Friday, I need to get some sunlight. And if not, if it's raining and crummy out, I won't do it. So one way or the other, you might hear from me before the weekend. Otherwise, you've created your own job, Adam, and it will take you farther than sucking up to the resume system. Yeah, and I firmly believe that. And I'm trying to, my goal is to have 6 income streams that make 6 figures each. That's a ridiculous goal, but that's the goal I set. It just sounds good. It's good marketing. It's not rolls off the tongue, but I know it can be done. I'm not the only one who's done it. I want to be a hydra with 6 heads. So if you cut off one of my heads, I got 5 more, bitch. What are you going to do? You can't knock me down. If I went and go to corporate America and get the 6-figure job from a corporate America, I'm going to be wearing golden handcuffs all day and they're going to hold my destiny in their hands. But I wouldn't mind having a job like that for 6 months to put money in the bank. Right now, with my expenses and stuff, my things the way they are, I could bankroll a lot of money at a job like that really fast, and it could really like change my life in the short term, and it would help me find an escape route that would have a little more stability, and it would help. But it also seems like God just doesn't have that in his plan, because he keeps pushing me in a different direction, and every time I try to go that direction, he puts up a brick wall. So it's like, how many times? But I also have to play this stupid game where I keep these probation officers off my back, and they really aren't up my ass. So, um, exactly, like but the bakery isn't doing me any good anymore. It's some good. Like this week, it's actually going to come in handy because I get paid on Friday, and it's actually going to help me meet some goal, or so I pay some bills this week. Like I actually need that money. So and knowing that it's like having a job where I know I get paid on this day is good. But I need to be able to work like 30, 40 hours a week on stuff that pays anywhere from, 25 to 100 an hour, not $10 an hour, especially $10 an hour that goes with a 50-mile bicycle ride and 8 hours of nonstop fucking, you know, be careful with the words that I pick, but hard labor. Hard labor. It's not good for me. It's wearing me down physically to where I can't function, and I can't, like, it's just, you got to take the training wheels off the bike one of these days and ride like a big boy with 2 wheels. So at some point, I just got to do that. I would have already done it if it wasn't for the probation bullshit that I wonder if I'm going to deal with. You know what I mean? Um, it's the fact that I've got these fucking people hanging over me that could just scoop me up and throw me in a jail cell because they don't like me. You know what I mean? Or make my life absolutely miserable. And I guess, and look, I haven't had that experience, so I don't want to but all it takes is the wrong person. All it takes is you get assigned the wrong person who's got a vendetta. Like, what if they assign me to a blue hair who wears a COVID mask and, doesn't like me because I'm not one of them, or, like, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So I am in Texas, so I feel like the chances of that are kind of low. And I mean, I talked to the woman on the phone. I haven't met her in person yet. She seemed like she was very nice. She seemed even friendlier than the one I have now, or had. And he was a friendly guy. So, like, I'm just irritated that I got to go do this tomorrow because I got a lot of work that I could be doing. And instead, I got to go to fucking Houston and sit in traffic all goddamn day just to go deal with this shit. And I'm pissed because I don't want to do it. And I haven't done anything. I haven't done a single fucking wrong thing since I've been out of that place. And so I wish they would just leave me the fuck alone. And I mean that with all sincerity, because I mean, I haven't done anything. But, a lot of it is just a formality at this point. I think they're just doing the bare minimum that they have. Like, they're just doing whatever they feel like they have to do by law. But other than that, they're not going to bother me too much. So I'm okay. I'm just irritated because I've got a list of things I want to get done this week, and tomorrow's shot. Tomorrow's fucking done because I got to go do this instead. And so, but Friday, my best bet is tomorrow. I get down there, I get done, I get home, and it's still not even lunchtime. That would be ideal. And tomorrow, well, yeah, if that would be ideal, if I can get home and it's not even noon yet, then I could salvage some of my day. But otherwise, it's done. And go to the gym and fucking take out whatever aggression or whatever I have on the spin bike. But with that, I think we're down to 3 people. We had a good crowd tonight. I'm glad you all came out. Some of you hung out for a few and took off, and we had people come and go as usual. And so once again, the members only live stream is Sunday, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. And these live streams are going to be Wednesdays for the foreseeable future, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. It says it's going to be 2 hours, but we always go 3 and then some. So with that, I'm going to say I hope y'all have a good one, and we'll talk again later. Peace out.